Happy Saturday, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off. We're doing a special Saturday edition today, and we're going to be talking about two despicable human beings, Michael Proctor and Sean Goode. And we are going to be doing that.
Perhaps we might, other despicable beings, human beings might get a mention here and there. So there might be more than two. Yeah.
But the main focus today is Michael Proctor and Sean Goode and the shitty ass crap shit they said.
The bombshell. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just going to play the music.
Do it. Mel.
Yes, Rebecca.
I forgot to make a manicure appointment for after the stream. So at some point in the stream, I may need to leave for 60 seconds to make a phone call.
I think I can handle it.
It's been 3 weeks. It's getting bad. And I got my first manicure less than a year ago. And I am like, I can't not do it now. Like I can't not, because I used to bite my nails so bad and I haven't bitten my nails since, it's been a year since last April. I haven't bitten my nails. So
I am a nail biter. I hate to admit it, but I am. But I do get regular pedicures. I love a pedicure.
The best.
Lindsay is definitely like a manicure person, and every June she gets her Pride nails, and she just got her Pride nails yesterday, and they're pretty amazing. Happy Pride. She had her pre-Pride nails, which were like a subtle rainbow. And now she has full rainbow. So love the nails, and feel free to go and make your manicure appointment anytime you need to. We have, just to set this episode up, we're going to be obviously focusing on this filing, this new suit against the Canton Police Department, or the Town of Canton and the Massachusetts State Police. Focus mostly on law enforcement practices and hiring practices and on the job practices, and it focuses on two people in particular, and that is Michael Proctor and Sean Goode. Michael Proctor was the Massachusetts State Trooper who was the lead investigator on the Karen Reed John O'Keefe investigation. Sean Goode was a local Canton cop who was the third person on the scene at the John O'Keefe murder. He was also working dispatch the night that John O'Keefe was murdered. And he is the person that Brian Higgins said he did not talk to when he went to the Canton PD in the middle of the night, even though they were both in dispatch together. And
Joe lied. Sorry, that's a reference to that movie. Say anything. Remember Saying Anything? Remember Lily Taylor singing her song? Joe lies.
He lies.
He lies,
oh my God,
when he cries.
He lies when he cries. Lies. Oh my God, I love Lily Taylor so much. What a good movie. Say Anything.
I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen.
Joe lies. I will never be me. That's
pop culture, like childhoods come together.
Deep cut. So we're going to be mostly focusing on that, but there's a shit ton of other stuff that happened in the past 2 days. Like, what the fuck is going on? First of all, let's get some housekeeping business stuff out of the way, and then everybody can complain at us for spending 10 to 15 minutes thanking people for being so nice to us.
Well, we can make it. We can keep it tight. We can keep it tight.
I'm wearing my shirt just for today. You can get this on our merch store. Merch store is all over YouTube.
Although I'm going to be shifting the strategy of our merch store very soon. I haven't talked about this with you offline, but here's what I'm going to do. You ready?
Wait, my microphone's weird. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We're going to lean it way down, and we're going to do exclusive drops that are only available for a month, so that it's get this now, because then it won't be available later. We're going to totally create artificial demand.
All right.
It's going to be amazing.
You can get this shirt that I'm wearing, though. This is like a boy t-shirt, which I like, but there's also tank tops. I think I made I made the dog leashes. So your dog can wear a collar and has a leash that says whack job, which I think is hilarious for a dog. So there's a bunch of other whack job stuff. You can get that. Also, there's the barnstable bag, which I love.
Barnstable tote. You can bring it to your barnstable when you go for your Saturday horse ride.
Barnstable, or in Massachusetts, Barnstable, is where the defamation lawsuit was filed against Karen Reed and Aidan Carney by Higgins, Albert, McCabe, and Albert. But then it was the Hams, and then it was moved to Plymouth because the judge is like, no, I'm not playing this game. I'm located in Plymouth, so that's where it's going to be.
I'm not driving all the way the hell out of the Cape, especially in the summer. No.
You guys are really funny about my hair. My hair is nuts, and everybody's
telling me they nuts like today.
It's a little crazy. It's curly. This is what happens. But thank you for all the compliments. I appreciate that, because I was like, I could straighten it. I could do what I normally do. Fuck it.
Mine is straight, smooth, and soft because I had a hair appointment yesterday. So I get to enjoy like 2 days of it being straight, smooth, and soft. And then it goes back to its regular, insane self.
So, okay. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way.
Quickly.
First of all,
keep it quick.
I want to say thank you to Yenny. I also want to say thank you to Nancy, Nancy, you know who you are, and you know what you sent me, and you're friggin' amazing. You sent me 2 different things. One of them was an incredibly big thing, and I just want to say thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. The other was a giant box of the Haribo watermelon gummies, which are my favorite, and I absolutely appreciate that as well. The kids are very happy about it. I'm having to hide them from the kids so that they're not all gone in a week. But I just want to say thank you. Your generosity kind of astounds me. So thank you very much. I made Philly cheesesteaks last night for the fam.
Nice. So. We're having smashed tacos tonight with the fam.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that because the kids are coming over. I would like to thank Chelsea, who sent me something because she said, I saw how those awful vile messages dropped on you and Mel. I probably didn't see them because, she meant the messages from Proctor. I thought she meant messages like about us. I was going to say, I probably didn't see them because I have everybody muted. She said, I share in your status and rage. But anyway, she sent me something really fun. Mm-hmm. And I just want to thank you and tell you I plan to use it tonight. And thank you also for the new flavor of Nerds gummy clusters, which I will be trying out also later today. Very excited about that. Very excited.
Proctor's every day is a bad hair day for Proctor.
Remember when there was that photo of him with the sunglass tan on the back of his head?
Oh God!
Because he's that guy who always flips him over the back.
Of course, he wears his Oakleys on the back. Of course, he does.
Best. Best.
Okay. Let me talk really quickly about our schedule because we have some new stuff happening this week. Not new stuff, just like stuff that's out of the ordinary. But Monday we're going to do our regular double. Yes. We're going to do 8:30 a.m. and then a 5 p.m. members only stream. I may continue on with Jennifer McCabe testimony, or I might switch it up and get something else from some of the other testimony. I might try to make you very uncomfortable. So what we do on Monday evenings for our members is called Cross Roast. And it's basically where Rebecca drinks out of her happy parrot cup or the like. And I try to embarrass her with cross-examinations from the 2 Karen Reed trials because she has secondhand embarrassment for a lot of people. And so I basically try to find the cringiest testimony and make her very uncomfortable. We started off with Tommy Paul, with Joe Paul.
My tolerance for douche chills is like really small. So when they come my way, I'm driven to drink.
Yeah. And so if you want to watch those, watch Rebecca squirm while she drinks and I laugh, we do those streams on Monday nights. And I think it's worth the $3 membership. You can get any membership tier to join us for Crossroads. So do that. That'd be great. We'd love to have you there. It's a good time. And what else? If you feel like leaving us a tip, the QR code's at the top and the Cash App and Venmo are at the bottom. The tips are super helpful to us because YouTube doesn't take any of that money away from us. they do take 30% of our super chats and other stuff like ads and things like that. So if you are so inclined, please give us a tip. It's very helpful. And then, of course, we have our Amazon wish list. If you feel like doing that, which a lot of you have, and I'm still blown away by it because I initially started it as sort of like a vision board. It was like my vision board for if I could have anything. So here are some of the things I would want.
If the show were not so piddly and tiny and actually like it gave us a few extra bucks, here's what you would buy.
If I had like Melanie Little subscribers, here's what I would buy. But we don't. But speaking of subscribers, we are over 9,000. We are on our way to 10,000, which is, I think, a huge milestone for us because we've only been around for like 6 months. Pretty great. So thank you to you all. If you remember, please go like the video that we're doing right now because that's very helpful to us, and comment and subscribe and share with all your friends and do all the things. You also got us to over 1,000 members on the Facebook group, which is Something's Off with Mel Barrett and Rebecca Lavoie private discussion group.
Thank you, Rebecca. Tracy Talks, member for a month. Rebecca Drunk is my favorite. Oh, my husband's too.
Yeah, and mine. That's why I do it. That's why I do the show. That's why I do it for you all.
My liver is thrilled. I got a new chair, by the way. I'm so comfortable.
I know. You told me about it. I'm so excited
for my new desk to arrive because I can't put my knees under this desk. It's very uncomfortable.
We're going to do a desk switch out this week because you remember how I used to stream in the bedroom.
Yeah. In that cute bedroom, your bedroom looks like a hotel room.
Yeah. That's like my writing desk area. But since I've built the pod, I didn't think I would be turning it into my office, but I've turned it into my office. So I'm going to take my lovely little writing desk that's in the bedroom and switch it out because Lindsay's desk is getting old. And so we're going to do the desk switcheroo this weekend. It should be fun.
I have like a outside thought of maybe converting one of my kids' old bedrooms into like a YouTube spot. The issue is like, I like being in the living room because the kitchen's right there and I can watch and make sure that Kevin is actually emptying the dishwasher when he says he'll do it.
My God, it's one of my least favorite things, emptying the dishwasher.
And then, but also I like the light here a lot.
Yeah.
And, because I'm like literally surrounded by windows, but, sometimes the dogs bark or people come with packages and it can be a lot. So I have a studio in my house, by the way. I have a nice looking podcast studio with cameras in it, but I don't like the way it looks for YouTube. It's dark and it just looks too like 2018 to me. Like in terms of like, I like the Bob and Ali Mata vibe of just standing somewhere in their house random and looking at the camera.
Yeah, I like where you are now. I like the studio. It's nice. I was jealous of it for a long time, I'll be honest, because I was like, I don't have a place to work on the pod. Like when I was doing audio stuff, I didn't have a place to go and do that. I just had to do it in the bedroom or in my closet or wherever. So it's nice to have this little pod now, but I'm really glad that you're in a space that makes you comfortable and that's bright and beautiful.
I want to set like, what's her face? That horrible woman who interviewed Carrie Roberts.
Oh,
her set was nice.
Yeah.
Her set's nice.
Yeah. But it's kind of cheesy too. I mean, it's like the Scrabble board on the table and
yes, there's cheesy details and like the dried hydrangeas and stuff, cheesy details, but like the layout is nice. The set is nice. Her multicam situation is nice. Unfortunately, she's a horrible interviewer who couldn't ask a question to save her life. So that set is completely wasted. And the people she chooses to interview are wild, but
I think that some of the things that Greg Connor said on her little interview show made it into the new filing. So that's pretty good.
You knew, Greg. You knew. And the things he said at that debate. I agree. Karen Reed was overcharged. It's too bad you don't work there. So you couldn't have done something about that.
Really?
Greg.
Yeah. Nice try, Greg. It's a little late, Greg.
That Greg's siblings, because he has them. When he's not there, they're like, oh, Greg.
Friggin' Greg.
He's such a Greg now.
Mom, Greg.
Greg, Mom.
What were you thinking when you had
Mom,
Greg?
Is there any way we could just like not invite Greg to Thanksgiving this year? Greg.
God, Greg.
Such a downer. God.
Oh, one of the things we were talking about in our members only.
We're ascribing a whole backstory to Greg. Let's do it.
I know. I love it. one of the things that we were talking about in our members only stream is what our audience should be called, because it seems like everybody has a name for their audience.
I don't like it.
I know you don't like it. And because we were talking about Melanie Little and the cupcakes, and somebody said that we should be the fruit cakes, which I thought was really funny. But then everyone else was giving their suggestions, and somebody said that we should be the Lodala beans, which I think is also really funny, or just the beans.
Beans.
So I would like everybody to send over your suggestions, and we'll start thinking about it. And eventually we'll give you guys, maybe when we hit 10,000, we'll name the audience.
So Chad, yes, you can humble brag. Chad says, last week I won 2 Emmy Awards, just like Rebecca's hubby.
Oh, that's exciting.
Chad, that is very exciting. Can I please steal your valor? Send them to me. I'll put them behind me on my shelf. And just like I have with my husband's Emmy Award, it'll make me look more legit. Kevin says to tell you, Chad, when you get your actual awards in the mail, they come in a very big box, which I can attest to, because this wasn't the original. Kevin traded it in like last year for a new one because the old one was, I don't know, not as good as this one. And they make you send the old one back. Oh. And this is like the new style, which is really cute.
What else can we tell you? Oh, follow us on Twitter, where my Kelly Dever tweet might be going a little viral, which I'm really excited about. Should we put that up?
Yeah, put it up. I love the new respond with video function. It makes me look like I know how to do TikTok, which I don't know how to do.
I know that, you know, that they just, that's like from TikTok from like 5 years ago.
I know. I like it.
Finally got it. Friggin' Twitter. Yeah, we're up to 749 likes on this. That's pretty good for
look at the analytics. How many people how many impressions?
Oh, that's a good idea.
You got to look at the impressions.
Let's see.
Look at us talking about our own tweets. This is the most navel-gazing content one could make.
30,000 impressions.
Nice.
All right, let me share this real quick. And I mean this wholeheartedly. And you guys know that I mean this because I have been saying it for like more than a year now. I think since the last trial, actually. Kelly Dever.
Make it bigger. DM. Open up that tweet. I can't see it. Not that I need to. Have you seen it before?
As big as I can make it.
Oh, okay.
Kelly Dever, my DMs are open. You are welcome to come onto the show anytime to talk about what really happened in the Sallyport. And we will respect you and protect you in any way that we can and help you in any way that we can. But I think this is your moment because you worked with Sean Goode. You were there that morning when Sean Goode asked you to come in and keep working and stay on dispatch for him while he could go to the scene. I think you probably knew who he was and you had to deal with his ass. So please do the right thing. Be a hero. Come forward and tell us what really happened, please. I just said, Kelly Dever, I'll say it again. Our DMs are open. You worked with Sean Goode every day. Now would be a good time to come forward and be a heroine. Tell the truth about the men you worked with. Tell the truth about what happened in the Sallyport. We will respect you and give you a platform. I know you want to do the right thing. Please message here. Email somethingsoffpod@gmail.com or DM me at Mel Revision. So,
Kelly.
I think that she's one of the keys to this.
Just say it's even okay if you're a homophobe, Kelly.
It's even okay if you're a homophobe, Kelly.
Slide into my DMs anyway.
I don't know. I don't get the feeling that Kelly's like that. I don't know why. I don't.
All right.
I mean, it's Pride Month. I hope she's not like that. Come on for Pride Month, Kelly.
Yeah, do it.
Michelle said the cops did investigate his clothing being wet. ? Even the EMT thought it was weird enough to point out they purposely ignored so much evidence. Corrupt Canton cops. KKK. Thanks for the $10, Michelle. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I think his clothing would have been wet because he was out in the snow and his body was warm. So he probably was melting the snow all around him because his body was warm.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you want to? Oh, hey, Super Planner Amanda.
Super Planner, I just wanted to acknowledge you've been a member for 5 months, which is almost as long as this channel has been alive. So thank you very, very much, Amanda. We really appreciate that. And thank you for you're sending us our timestamps. We appreciate that too.
Yeah, Amanda does our chapters, so make sure you say thank you to Amanda in the chat because she's amazing. Anything else that we got to talk about for
business wise? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about the one other thing?
Yeah. Yep. I do. The one other thing. And then we'll be done here.
Yes, but I don't want to like get too mired in it. I don't want this whole channel to be about it.
The episode will be over after this. No,
I just want to mention it because he's been such a good friend of the show.
Yes.
Broken Baker is such a good friend of the show. I don't know him well. I haven't known him long, but he has had our back many, many, many times. And I really, really like him. And he exudes, again, he's another one person that I know we disagree on a lot of things, like politically and so forth. And he just exudes the kind of wit and intelligence and genuine intellectual curiosity that makes you want to sort of have him on your team, right? Like he's lovely.
He's also got a very dry sense of humor, and some people don't understand that.
Dry as hell. Yeah. And he's also Danish, which like adds like this sort of like wry European sensibility to things that, you know, Americans, we don't always understand. So he has been the target of a little campaign of, let's just say, scorned person,
some very close to like revenge porn.
Yeah. So this is somebody that he had a brief online relationship with, didn't work out. He wanted to end it. She didn't respond well and sort of started bombarding him with more. He had to block her, all the stuff. She kept showing up in his chats. His mods kept having to block. It was a whole thing. Another creator who is not part of our circle, but is in a concentric circle with our circle, Jess Machado, decided to very publicly take the side of this woman. And then it didn't go well for Baker. No. I mean, Baker was pissed, and he made a hour plus stream the other morning. He's in Tennessee doing a meetup and some events and going to Dollywood, which I guess he does.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did a long stream that starts out of a cannon and never stops. And his whole thing was, and you can tell me, Mel, whether or not this is something that I also agree with vehemently, is that drama is the content for this particular person. Drama is the content for Jess Machado. And he did not hold back on his sort of like feelings about all of it. And it was not very Baker-like, which is why it was so stunning to sort of watch this whole thing.
I think he's been quiet. I think he's stayed silent about it for a very long time because he didn't want to engage.
Well, also like friends of your friends, you know, I encounter this where we've made friends in this space.
Yes.
And friends of those friends are people that I wouldn't want to know. And that's, but I'm just like, it's none of my business who my friends are friends with, or none of my business who people are friendly with or friends with. And I understand that people have whole lives outside of the things that we do that make them fuller people than I see. So from what I see, I might not want to know that person, but there might be a whole rich undercarriage there that I will never see. Right. So like, I just make assumptions. Like I assume the best. I assume there's something else there that like, you know how when you meet somebody's husband and he seems real fucking lame, but you know, your good friend who you love really adores them. So you're sort of like,
have to deal with it.
Yeah. So without doing what Super Planner Girl is saying, I don't want to create more drama. I just want to say, I understand where he's coming from. I think he's right about most of, if not everything he said about what is feeding that channel and what keeps it going. And I then watched a reaction stream, listened to, because it's no visuals. I don't understand the streams that are no visuals that are on YouTube. That's just I just don't understand it. I know it's a thing, but like it's a part of
this thing. Yeah.
But then I watched something yesterday, which was literally from Jess, a list of all the creators in the space with whom she had some sort of beef or falling out. And it was like all of them. And things were great. I was generous. I was wonderful. And then the vibe changed and I found out that they said they didn't like my show. And then all of a sudden it was this, it was that. And I had been so kind and I had been so loyal and I had been so whatever. And it always comes from somebody showing somebody a DM, which is a shitty thing to do and no one should do. I mean, it's one thing to send a screenshot of a DM to your friend. Like I do it with you, Mel. I'll sometimes send you a screenshot. Yeah. But like, those are not things you publish. And those are not things, certainly, if you find out, like I've seen Slack messages that my colleagues have sent about me where they're just like being petty. I'm like, you're allowed to think that. Chances are I've probably said the same about somebody else and I would be an idiot if I was hurt by that. But it just reminded me of that quote from Justified. If you've ever seen the show Justified, the very first episode of Justified, Raylan Gibbons says, you run into an asshole in the morning, you ran into an asshole. You run into assholes all day, you are the asshole. And I was just, so that's where I want to leave that for me. But I am definitely Team Baker. Team Baker has had our back and we continue to have his. So anyway.
The only thing that I will say about it, because I really, really try not to get involved in the drama. I had done a stream. I did a solo stream one time where I was actually talking about a really important thing that had happened in a place where I used to live in Somerville, where the guy had fallen on the escalator and no one helped him. And then he eventually died. So I was talking about that. And the conversation sort of morphed into First Amendment stuff. And I was explaining why I believe in the First Amendment. And I used a couple of people as examples. Jess Machado was one of those people. And I said that she is allowed to say that somebody is, I really don't want to say the word, and I don't want to say the people's names.
Don't say the word. Yeah.
I won't. Anyway, basically what I was saying is she's allowed to say whatever she wants, and the other person is also allowed to say whatever they want, as long as they are not threatening one another. And because I was talking about that, because I was saying these are my beliefs about the First Amendment, and here are two examples that actually happened, I got personally attacked for like a week on Twitter. Somebody used my name, my face and my name on a new Twitter account that they were using as like, a burner account. I was called like some really horrific things. My physical appearance was torn apart. They always go for my sexuality. That's like the low hanging fruit. And that was all because I was discussing my thoughts and opinions about the First Amendment and used two people who had expressed their views online. And I was trying to make the point that I don't necessarily agree with either of these two people, but they are allowed to say whatever they want. So I have seen firsthand, like how these people sort of come at you and in, a really mentally unstable kind of way. And so when I heard the periphery, when I was on the periphery and I heard what was happening with Baker and I saw the photo that was shared, I completely dismissed it at first because how I understood it was that Baker had gotten into a virtual relationship with somebody, which I'm totally fine with. And they had some sexting going on, which I'm totally fine with. And you're allowed to do that whenever you want to. It doesn't make you weird to be sexting with the person that you're starting a relationship with or doing something with. But then when I found out that those messages had been released by a scorned person who Baker shut the relationship down with, that's when I was like, okay, I'm out of this conversation, because what they are doing now is they're all engaging in borderline revenge porn. And there are certain people that are supporting the woman who released those text messages to try to make Baker look like he was some weird freak or something like that, when
he was pervert.
He was a normal human fucking being engaging in, sexting with the person that they were interested in. And when somebody else picked that up, like I'm one of those people that's like, believe all women kind of thing. But I also believe that women can be really shitty human beings, and some women lie, and some women use intimate things to embarrass or try to take down a man. And so I recognize that those two things can exist in the same world. I don't want to get involved in the drama, but I also support Baker. And I will also say that I support Jess Machado's, some of her journalism. I appreciate what she did for when she testified in Aiden's TRO hearing, because I thought that it was important what she did, and it was, you know, she was talking also about journalism, and I think that's important. But I don't have to like her in order to support her as a good journalist. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
You know who I give props to? One final thing. I give props to Aiden for trying to talk to people. He's friends with who he's friends with. He doesn't cut off relationships with people because other people have issues with them. Right. And he apparently has been trying to like get everybody off a ledge, which I appreciate. I think Baker, and I don't think he's trying to get Baker off a ledge. I think Baker is fine being on a ledge. Well, Baker, I just hope he's having a good time. I hope he's having a good time in Tennessee still. I know that he's been eating a lot of gravy, and I hope he continues to. And I know Will was there last night too, and I was really jealous. It seemed fun. Anyway.
Yeah, and also who was there? Mary B was there, and I love Mary B. Okay. So that was really all we wanted to talk about with like side drama shit. Let's get into, so there's a sort of a list of things that have happened over the past few days. Most of you were here. A lot of you were here when we were covering a bunch of filings on, what was it? Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. Yep. When the news broke that Karen Reed had filed a lawsuit against the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton PD. Town of Canton, sorry. And that news hit us very hard, and you kind of saw us deal with it in real time in front of you all. And I have to say, I mean, I don't want to say I was embarrassed about the way that I reacted, because I literally had to walk away for a second. But I think as a privileged white woman in our society, I thought that what we knew was pretty bad, and that was the end of it. But what actually happened was so much worse than I could even fathom, which just sort of shows my white privilege, because I was so shocked by what I was reading and what I was hearing that I had a visceral reaction. And so I first want to apologize for not, like, I guess, keeping up the magic of what we're doing here. But it really did affect me. And as many of you know, I am a survivor of sexual assault and sexual abuse. So that's the part that I didn't expect. And when it was the first thing that I read, it hit me very hard. And so anyway, I just wanted to say that right off the top. We were both dealing with it in real time, and it was difficult, and we had to shut our stream down really sort of like abruptly. And yeah, I just want to say I apologize for that. But you know,
Mel, I just want to say you are more vulnerable than I am on camera, and I really appreciate it. I mean, there are a lot of things about my personal life that I've never talked about publicly. Something I have, sometimes I have in like very deep cut episodes of Trend Writers On or whatever. But we both felt the same things, and you had the honesty and vulnerability to let your feelings show. And I think that that's very admirable. And I wish I had half of your heart, because I tend to cope and compartmentalize and try to cover things up by pretending everything's fine. That's my cope.
That's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's just go back in time and remember how we were that day.
Everything's okay. I use humor. Oh wait, I can't hear you when the thingy was going. What did you say?
I know. I said Mel had her heart on her sleeve. I put on my stony face, as one does.
You did react to it. I don't think you realized, like, your face reacted.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. And so when I saw your face, because you were reading it before I saw it, when I saw your face, sick. I was like, I thought I was going to be sick too, which is one of the reasons why I stepped away. But when I saw your face, I was like, oh no, it's so much worse than I thought it was going to be. And I have no idea what to expect here. And oh shit, like, this is bad. And it's happening right here. And I'm on camera. And like, what do I say? And what do I do? And that was tough. But I'm glad that we got through it together, and that we've taken a couple of days.
Me too. A couple of days were
necessary. There was a lot more that we didn't even get to in that moment that was even worse. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? But then I have to say, because the thing is, when you go into it, the first thing you see are all of the words that they said. But what you don't see is the the filing itself and how they, sorry, hold on a second. Lindsay's the car. Can you hear the car?
No.
That's crazy.
I can hear like a little, but you have your noise suppression on. It's like, I hear stuff way louder through my mic than you can hear it on the YouTube. Sometimes I'll be on my mic and I'll be like, oh my God, Kevin is washing that pot and it's so loud. But but it doesn't come through here as much. It just sounds like a little tink.
That's so crazy. It's literally right on the other side of this wall. There's a giant SUV leaving the garage. I can't
really, did it backfire or something? Oh, it's just loud.
Totally amazing.
Giant SUV, like Canton style giant SUV?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we have a big Explorer. Because, you know, we got kids and
I know. But I know you probably actually need it, but
I have the sporty car. I drive my car.
My son Henry, as you know, was in the Senate Page program when he was in high school. So he was a Senate Page. We had to bring him down to DC with his like giant. Actually, we flew down because we all checked in with like he had all these. It's like you go like going to college. I mean, it's like easily. They lived in DC for a high school semester, went to school, the Senate Page school, worked in the Senate every day. It was very cool. We watched him on C-SPAN. That was fun. But we all flew down, the whole family. We're not an Outback. If Subaru made a giant SUV, I'd have a
Forester, and I've had Foresters, but no,
I had a Forester too.
The Explorer is not mine anyway.
If the Subaru made an Explorer-sized car, that's probably what you guys would have.
Maybe.
So we drove down with all this shit. So we rented an expedition for like our family of 4 plus all these huge bags and shit. And we were driving around DC in those tiny little streets in this like expedition, which is not easy. So anyway, I commend you.
Well, yeah. So I'm surprised you guys couldn't hear that. But back to the filing. The thing that actually gave me heart was the way that the filing was written and what they were focusing on, and the words that the lawyers chose to use were so much more powerful than what Michael Proctor and Sean Goode had to say, that I think those parts are so important. And that's some of the stuff that I want to go over today. I want to warn everybody, obviously, you know, we might be showing on screen and we might be saying some words that are really hard to hear. Rebecca went through and blacked out all the horrific things that these guys said. And we're obviously not going to say them out loud, but we are going to read some of the things that they said again.
Can I just make a caveat with that?
Yes.
Lest folks think that my not redacting some words means I think they're okay. That's not true. Right. There are words that are like true profanity, and there are words, and you know, my husband actually says all the time, the N word is our last true piece of profanity. And I completely agree with that. You know, C word, who fucking cares? Like, fuck, who fucking cares? But there are words in there, like the word Jew is used to describe Jewish people, but Jew is a word that's also used to describe Jewish people by people who are not anti-Semitic and Jews themselves. There are some other epithets in there that are a little more, for lack of a better word, old-fashioned and thereby seem so anachronistic that I didn't necessarily black them all out. But so if you see something, just know that I did make editorial choices that were similar to editorial choices I would make if doing a digital story for the newsroom or something. That wasn't because I have stronger feelings about one epithet than another, although there is one epithet, the N word, that I have the strongest feelings about, and so should we all.
Yes,
it was funny. Aiden has said on his show that he didn't think Proctor was an N-word guy. And
I know.
Like, guess I was wrong about that. Guess I was wrong about that.
Not only is he an N-word guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a pointy white hood in his closet, or you know, some Doc Martens with red.
I think I always thought he was an N-word guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's just an N-word guy. I think he's actually like a friggin' skinhead at this point. Literally. There's a word in there that I think a lot of content creators either didn't know but they kept saying it. Like white commenters were saying this word and they shouldn't be saying it. And that is the word that begins with G and is slang for certain Asian folks. Mm-hmm. I was shocked.
How do you not know that word?
I was like, oh, stop saying that. Stop saying that word. It's freaking me out. Stop saying it. I was so blown away by it, Rebecca, when I heard other streamers like just saying
that's
it
a new
and not
one.
realize. No, I know. No, it's not.
Like, how is that a new one? That's the oldest one. That's like that's what guys used to say when they were in Nam.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. That's a bad word. It's a very bad word.
But that just shows you that there are certain white folks who don't know that this shit exists or don't pay attention to it or choose not to.
Or don't care enough
to pay attention. Yeah. And it's like, guys, come on here. Like, do your due diligence, understand what is like a racial slur, you know, and what is not. And anyway, so how do you want to do this?
Let me pull it up. Let's just get into it. I got it. Well, I got you, girl.
I have my version too, which I highlighted different things from you.
Okay. So why don't we pull them? Why don't you have yours on deck and I'll have mine on deck?
Okay.
And we'll just go from there. Does that sound good? Does that sound like a plan, girl?
Yes. Yes.
Add file from your computer. Something's off. Filings. I should have had this more ready to go, but I slow.
Let me make sure. Let me just look at mine really quick and make sure that. See, I didn't take my highlighting in.
Actually, I'm gonna remove this from the studio. I don't want to share the file. I want to share my screen.
The screen, yeah,
because I don't want the whole file to be up there. Hold on one second.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us while we do tech stuff.
Oh God, we're so like this is like watching the freaking bus stop live.
I know.
Hold on.
I know.
Hold on.
I
love him so much, but man, his tech. Actually, I think his tech difficulties add to the charm of the show. Personally, make sure this is my redacted one. Yeah, this is my redacted one. There it is. There she is, friend.
I'm just going to follow along with mine. And when I see something that I've highlighted, if you can keep yours on the screen and we can read it off from there, that would be great.
Sure. Okay. Are my highlights in here? I think I have highlights in here. They should be.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing I worried about. So one time I opened up your copy. And instead of redacting, it highlighted.
Oh, that's weird.
Like, yes. The redaction, you could see the word through the highlight. It looked like a highlight.
Probably because it wasn't
this looks fine. Before it was
probably wasn't opaque enough. Yeah,
you could see the word, and I was like, well, that's not gonna work.
Well, this is the first one we saw. I mean, this is the one when I opened it.
And this one has audio. Here's the audio.
Other thing. They played the audio on the Today Show. Oh my God.
Yeah. Let's talk about this really quickly because
can we talk about the Today Show real quick? Because that won't take long. That conversation won't take long.
Yeah, sorry we're hopping all over the place, but actually we can put this up on the screen just to show a moment of it. Because a lot of you haven't seen it.
Wait, I think we're going to get copyright. I wouldn't put it on the screen. NBC Universal is assholes about their shit. I wouldn't put it up.
Yeah?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
You don't want to mess with NBC Universal. You don't want to mess with Disney. You don't want to mess with NBC Universal. You don't want to mess with Paramount.
Fine. I'm going to put the link in the comments. Y'all can go and watch it.
I have different take on it than all of you, I think. All of you.
So I was real pissed off about this. As soon as I was watching it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me with these questions? Like one of the questions was, and I forget the guy's name. I forget what
Craig Melvin.
He's been on, Craig Melvin. He's been on a couple of other different news programs. But anyway, Craig Melvin says to her, well, first of all, he was really shocked when he interviewed the jury foreman, who said we all knew she was innocent of this. And he was shocked by that, right? So that shows you that the mainstream media didn't actually follow what happened in this case. And they don't really know what happened as far as the evidence that was put out and you know, all that. Craig Melvin says to her, so when you're walking down the street, and this is, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, when you're walking down the street, you know, are you feeling that sense that everybody thinks you got away with murder? And she was like, Karen was like, what? She was like, no. She's like, not one person has made me feel that way. She's like, in fact, I haven't paid for a drink or food since the trial because everybody realizes what happened was police corruption and da-da-da. And he was like, really? And then he said, one of the other things was she went through he was like, so you lost your job, you lost your house, you lost your car. So do you have a day job now? And she was like, well, no, Craig, because I'm in the middle of a gazillion lawsuits and I work on that every single day. And I was just like, these people they don't know anything about this. But you had a different take.
My different take was, I don't think the outrage is warranted because this is just a very typical Today Show, magazine show interview. Magazine show interviews.
We shouldn't accept that. We should not accept that.
I'm just saying, we shouldn't accept it for anybody, but we do. And to not accept it for her, but have be okay with a celebrity or anybody else is silly. This is a very typical, so magazine shows, the hosts don't know anything about anything they are talking about. Producers put together a package, and a producer may have a very strong point of view. And then the host may look at it and say, no, we need to be more measured than this, because half of our audience probably thinks this and half probably thinks this. So we have to ask. So magazine show interviews, like Today Show interviews, are the most milk toasty, least substantive interviews you will ever see, the ones that happen on set. Occasionally they play a package of an interview that's done in advance and that's edited and that's like with a newsmaker or something that might be a little bit harder news. This was not a trap. It was not, she was not being baited. This was if you watch literally any interview from any magazine show, this is incredibly typical. They always feel like they need to address the what ifism. They always feel like they need to address the other side of the coin.
The balance.
That's just the way that this works. I mean, you won't get it with someone like an Elizabeth Smart, because they're not going to be like, are you sure you didn't want to get kidnapped or some bullshit like that? But you will get milk toasty, stupid questions like, so what is your everyday life like now? Like, what do you make for breakfast for your kids? Like they'll never go deep.
If you could talk to Peggy O'Keefe, what would you say to her? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, come on.
Right. Guys. So I feel as though I didn't expect, and I think that people are disappointed because maybe they expected more. The team is doing exactly the right thing. They have just put out the most bombshell information that they've been able to put out since the case. They knew they were filing this on the 4th, so they pre-scheduled all these media appearances to immediately follow up on this filing. I think they didn't wait quite long enough for the Today Show. I would have waited an extra day, because I don't think that what Michael Proctor's words included landed well when so few people had actually like heard about it before then. Like some news was made about it in the 24 hours prior. So I would have scheduled that interview for Monday. I think it would have been a different interview. I don't think when those hosts came in at 3 a.m. that morning, they had seen anything about the news the day prior, because they all go to bed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon in order to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I would have given it a little more time. I think that doing the Today Show first was probably not ideal. They probably should have done one or two slightly more point of view places first to sort of get their talking points together and kind of practice for the Today Show, because the answers also weren't ideal. I mean, there's not like they didn't seem particularly prepared for the milk toastiness of the questions. But I just looked at it and I'm like, I don't understand why everybody's so angry. This is literally the most typical television interview I have ever seen.
I think everyone's so angry because we're so sick of it at this point. It's been going on for so long, and it's like what you said the other day when you said that balanced and measured is not journalism. And the problem is that the Today Show is also not journalism. It's a talk show.
It's an entertainment show.
It's entertainment. Balanced and measured is not journalism. Journalism is truth. And so I think that when people tune into something like the Today Show, and this is like the filing that Karen Reed's team made is groundbreaking. Like the weight of this filing against the Massachusetts State Police and the Town of Canton is putting on notice police departments, law enforcement, state, departments, everybody, towns. This is what your police officers are talking about and doing. These are the people that are policing your communities. Is this okay with you? And again, this goes back to what we've always talked about, which is, why don't you guys focus on other cases with, with people of color and blah, blah, blah. I do, you do. But this case is so fucking important because the person at the center of this case is a privileged, very privileged white woman who has all of that privilege at her disposal to file a lawsuit like this and to get this information and to have the money to do it. And what she's doing is groundbreaking because people are going to pay attention to it, because she is saying, look, these police officers did this to me. Here's what they're saying about here's what they're saying about Black, brown, Asian, women, gay people in your community. And they did this to me. Imagine what they're doing to a 14-year-old Black kid, or imagine what they're doing when they pass an accident and they see that an accident has a Black person involved. Are they hesitating to go out there and save that person's life?
We heard on tape that they are.
We heard on tape that that they should just, quote unquote, let him die. So the fact that Karen Reed, this is huge. And I wish the Today Show had given it the weight, even as entertainment. The Today Show should have given this the weight that it deserved. And I think that's what they expected going into it, but that means that they didn't know too much about the Today Show. It just like,
I mean, it's the same with Dateline. It's the same with everything. Yeah. Anything that's sort of a mainstream entertainment thing feels like it needs to be, like, the whole idea is to appeal to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And the issue is that Karen's team, I'll just say it, they need to be more prepared for that venue by going in harder. Like the answer about when they talked about the cover up part, like the framing part, Waters shouldn't have started with John's body or whatever. That requires a very lengthy explanation. He should have just said the number of times they hid evidence from us, inverted video, lied about the time showing up at with the car, whatever. There are demonstrable lies in writing that were entered in court that point to a cover up, and we are prepared to show you all of them if you'll give us the time to. Yes. And but starting with the body and starting with whatever, starting with the not consistent with a car strike sounds like there's all this wiggle room, but there isn't, and they need to be more prepared for it. I honestly, I don't blame the Today Show, because this is the work they do every day. Why would they do it differently on Friday than they do it every other day? I blame, in part, the team for not being more prepared for that specific venue. And so I think they probably understand that now. It's always going to be milquetoasty. But it just seemed very normal to me. It just all seemed very normal. And if you expected more, you shouldn't have expected more. Well, I understand that people are disappointed, but they shouldn't have expected any more than they got.
I agree. I understand what you're saying. I think we're getting to the place where they're sick of it. And I agree with that sentiment, because I'm sick of it too. I wanted to bring up this comment. The Struggle is Teal said, you guys often bring this up. Have you seen examples of this actually translating? Are people actually seeing these issues now against people of color when they didn't before? I'm not seeing it. I would say yes, based on what happened in Canton at the town meetings.
Yep.
The town select board meetings. White folks are showing up and complaining, finally, about law enforcement. In these towns and cities that are back the blue, their minds are like, they're opening finally. They're finally seeing. I mean, that's where I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in the town of Canton. I'm seeing it in someone like Aiden. Everybody always questions my relationship and friendship with Aiden. One of the things I like about Aiden is he is open to change. He does not resist change. It might take him a little while. It might be slow, but he does not resist change. He is willing to change his ideas and his opinions and thoughts about things if he sees proof about something. And when he started seeing proof about what law enforcement was doing in this community, he started literally getting behind a bullhorn and talking about it and trying to hold the people accountable. People who look just like him, people who come from the same place as him, basically, people who have the same privileges he has. So because a guy who says that he supported MAGA, I don't know if he still does, a white dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, in Massachusetts, who is willing to speak out against law enforcement, that's where I'm seeing it. That is not something I ever thought I'd ever see that. I never thought I would see someone like Aiden doing what he's doing. I expect to see activists who look like me or who have, black or brown skin, getting out there and getting behind a bullhorn, because that's what we have to do. And we've done that our entire lives on this planet. But when you see blonde-haired, blue-eyed white folks getting out there and doing it, that's when I start to realize that change is happening. Do you have thoughts on that, Rebecca?
My thoughts are, I think it's really great to have white people talk about how horrible it is that a cop would use the N-word in their private life. Because I think a lot of people would have said before all this, like, doesn't mean he's not a good cop. I mean, we're seeing the anti-Karen people say that still. But I think that people are understanding now how that kind of thinking connects to injustice for everybody. And I think that there's nothing bad about that. Let's show something about Billy here, our friend Billy, who I will never forgive ever.
I know.
Sorry,
I won't
Billy.
either.
You're on a redemption tour, whatever. I appreciate the fact that you're trying to do better, but like you should have released that tape. What's that?
People think I look like him. I think that's funny.
You do look a little like Billy Bush. You got a little Billy Bushism going on.
I will never forgive Billy Bush for.
Although, to be fair, again, he may not have had the power working for a network to do something brave because they didn't give him that kind of power.
But you know where he had the power? To not giggle along and join in on the fun while it was happening.
Exactly. All right. So anyway, let's just Billy Bush is on his redemption tour, which I appreciate. I appreciate redemption tour for anybody.
And he's doing some good work. So I'm going to give him that. This is me. I can change my opinion about somebody.
Okay. Special edition here of Hot Mics on a Friday. This morning, Karen Reed and her lawyer, Alan Jackson, went on the Today Show in New York. Alan flew all the way from LA. They did about a 4-minute setup of Karen Reed's life.
Thank you.
Basically leaning upon 2 years ago. And then asked a few questions. I found the interview to be unresearched, ill-prepared, inhospitable. 2 days ago, Karen Reed's legal team files a lawsuit against Massachusetts State Police and Canton Police, and they list in the complaints, they show in discovery all of these texts between Michael Proctor, state trooper, Sean Goode of Canton, the sergeant in the Canton Police Department. They are vile, they are racist, they are bigoted, they are white supremacists, they are unreadable on television.
Preach, Billy.
They didn't pay any attention to that. Alan Jackson is with us right now. He's had to fly to Boston. That was a bit of a waste of time, was it not?
Well, Billy, I'm not going to pile on one way or the other. The questions are the questions. We wanted to make sure. And look, you're entitled. You're good at this. You've got a long, rich history on TV, and you know how to interview people, and you know what questions to ask, and you know how to do the research and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let the audience make their own decisions about what was and wasn't prepared, etc. Both hosts were very, very affable, very nice to us, very kind to us, both on and off camera. The thing that I wanted to get across in the interview was how broken a system the Massachusetts State Police is. The fact that the texts, as vile as they are just emblematic of a deeper cancer, a malignancy that is born deep inside the Massachusetts State Police, and quite frankly, all of law enforcement. It's not just the Massachusetts State Police. Proctor was texting with another buddy of his who's a Canton police officer who was also central in the investigation against Karen Reed. I mean, it doesn't stop. And so the reason for the lawsuit is twofold. Number one, under any kind of a civil justice system, money is what talks, right? That's the only thing that can change hands in a civil case. Nobody's going to jail in a civil case. The only way that you can exact any punishment for conduct, in this case, punishment that is richly deserved by the agencies that we've sued, is to deliver a monetary blow to them. And also, Karen is richly deserving to be made whole again. I mean, her life has basically been
go for that money.
ruined,
be shameless about it.
Certainly by this odyssey that she's had to go through, and somebody needs to pay for that. And if it's the Massachusetts State Police, so be it. If it's the Canton Police Department or the Town of Canton, so be it. I didn't find the question about but this is just about money to be well thought out, because I explained then, and I'll explain now, it's not just about money, because you cannot, and I said
first of all, that's such a cop-out, Alan, to say, could this be about money? You have lost your life. You're a financial analyst. You've got a nice job. You're working hard. Money should not even be, money is obvious. Yes, it's about money, but that's an obvious thing. You should make restitution, and you should have to pay. What other way is there to pay in a civil trial?
Right, there is no other way.
There is no other way. That's the entire thing. It's what it's about. That's why he's so, I'm sorry, it was so unresearched.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying, Billy. That is why I said to the host.
You guys have the idea. I please go and watch Billy, this interview with Billy. I'm going to put it in the comments. Go and watch this. Billy says a lot of what I'm feeling about the Today Show interview.
Yeah, he's not wrong, but he also should know, because he used to work there. That's how they are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't bad. I'm just saying it's 0% surprising. And Alan Jackson wasn't surprised. Oh yeah, I have I actually have this tweet up. Like, want to see it?
Is that fucking true?
So Will just tweeted this.
Oh, those fuckers.
I want to send a big thank you to whatever spineless, I believe it says twat, but I can't see because it's behind, had such a problem with Broken Baker defending himself from the horrible accusations from a quote independent journalist that they attempted to swat the live show and meet and greet in Knoxville. Unfortunately for the spineless twat, the cops showed up very early, even before I got there, and it completely backfired. Good times were had with really good people who travel from all over to meet these creators and fellow chat members. Jesus. Who would do that? Who would do that? Who is so, who cares about the drama? Oh, I can think of one person who would. Probably it could have, well, I don't want to speculate, but I can imagine a situation in which it could have been the person sort of at the center of this who sprung the whole thing off, but who actually shared the screenshots or whatever. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to say that.
Crazy. People are like, the online is not real life, y'all. Like,
it's not. Get
lives. Like, honestly, I know everybody keeps saying this and it's cliche at this point, but go outside and touch some grass, because y'all are too online sometimes. Not our audience, not you, Rebecca, but I'm just saying, like, when you're resorting, like, this is like 14-year-old boy gamer shit, you know, where they've been playing Call of Duty for 20 hours and all they can think about is shooting other people. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, when 40-plus-year-old women are doing this shit, y'all need to get outside. This is out of control. Right. Okay, let me go back to my notes here. Okay, let's get into, you had the filing up. Let's bring that filing back up.
I did. It's so good.
I know.
Okay. Goode is not a good person. So this was the first thing that popped out, and this is the one that's on audio. Actually, take your time. I saw an N-word was involved, so I wouldn't rush. If you're working, let them die.
Yeah. Can we, but before we get into, I do want to highlight what some of the writing from the lawyers. So can we go back to page 2?
Sure.
And bullet point 3? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I just want to read this really quickly for the audience that's just listening. They say former MSP Detective Michael Proctor and former, as of 2 days ago, CPD Sergeant Sean Goode are virulent bigots whose hatred for anyone and everyone different from themselves permeates their every action. They are not officers who occasionally voiced an offensive remark. They are men whose written and recorded communications sent to one another and to a circle of like-minded friends over the course of a decade establish entrenched and unrepentant hatred for women, Black Americans, Asian Americans, Jews, Hispanics, Arabs, and gay people.
A few people got away. A few people have seemed to have gotten away. There's no trans people listed here. They got away.
Well, I think that,
but no one else got away.
People, a lot of people, when they say gay people, they put trans under the umbrella of gay people.
Oh, so because they think all trans people are gay.
Well, when they say gay people, I think that they're not saying, like, they could have said the LGBTQ blah, 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 alphabet
queer
community.
People.
Yeah. But when they're saying gay people, I think that's what they're getting at. Their unfitness for any position of public trust was not subtle. It was extensively documented and, as set forth below, knowable to MSP and CPD long before either agency assigned them to investigate and prosecute Miss Reed. Proctor's and Goode's involvement at the outset of the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe III invariably and irredeemably contaminated it in every aspect. And then just quickly, in bullet point 4, as you will notice, it says that there are written and audio messages of what they're talking about in
just sending little voice memos of hate.
Yeah. And I will say that if you go and watch, so they also did, Karen's team also did ABC. They did ABC World. Let me put that link in the comments. If you go and watch ABC World actually plays the audio of Michael Proctor talking about the car crash that he saw. Where he said, they're Black, let them die. I'm paraphrasing.
But they played it on the Today Show, but it just died. No one ever even addressed it on the Today Show.
Nope. They played it. They played other bits of audio as well, which are just fucking despicable. So, all right, back to what they actually said. How do you want to handle this, Rebecca?
Well, I think we already addressed the car accident one, right? Then we have a bunch of wonderful sexual assault content where he very comfortably talks about trying to wait until his then girlfriend is asleep so that he can then do something that she did not consent for him to do, or get her hammered, make her incapacitated. I mean, doesn't this speak to why there was so much comfort with Farwell in that building? Remember, these very cops, this very troop of cops had all the Farwell material and decided that what they saw on his iCloud did not rise to the level of seeing him as someone they should charge, because this is how they are also in their private lives.
Well, and also Sean Goode, there is, in this filing, Sean Goode speaks directly to the Sandra Birchmore case. And it sounds to me like because he thought she was the R word, that it wasn't worth pursuing an investigation. That's what it feels like to me.
It's not exactly what he said. R-worded, yes.
Yeah.
And this one's fun. Somebody visited his old high school and was uncomfortable with the amount of diversity that now is in his old high school.
Michael Proctor.
Because he saw more N-words in 10 minutes. And in the 4 years he spent there, goodbye. Aren't you lucky that you didn't get to see a lot of N-words there in your 4 years there, Proctor? So fortunate. And then he refers to Black people as monkeys.
Also, we should mention, and this was, I think, on a previous page, the reason why they're highlighting in this suit Michael Proctor and Sean Goode is because these two douchebags went to high school together. They've been doing this since high school together. That should tell you about that age group and who came before that age group that came out of Canton High.
That's right.
I'm looking at you, McCabe's.
Steve-O, I do think it's a one-sided crap interview, but I just had lower expectations because it was the Today Show. So I just don't think it was an atypically one-sided and crap interview, I guess is what I was trying to put across.
Thanks for becoming a new member, Sandy. We appreciate you.
So appreciate it. So appreciate you. So here we have some commentary about Sandy. That's Sandy D that I saw on the Broken Baker's channel when he sang Sandra D. Because Baker and his second video from yesterday, there was someone named Sandy D in his comments, and then he spent the whole rest of the video. You could tell Sandra D from Greece had gotten his head like an earworm. He spent the whole rest of the stream humming it. So Randolph, Massachusetts, I'm sorry, Michael Proctor doesn't like you. It's a complete shithole filled with N-words. No good N-words.
I'm not leaving in this moment because I'm upset. I just have to pee. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. How y'all doing? Everyone good? Let me look at some comments while Mel's gone. Let's see. Hi, Rebecca and Mel chat. Hello to you, Amshi. That's the thing. Massachusetts got caught, and it's many more areas around the country with police forces. It's many of these guys get caught. The shit's been happening. The shit has been happening all over. And as I said the other day, and I'll say it again, these text messages do not surprise me. They do not surprise me in any way. What surprises me is just sort of like actually, none of it surprises me. It is worse than I thought, though, because I felt like if it had been this bad, I mean, we heard what Rosemary Scapiccio said in court, and that's when I realized it was even worse than I thought it was going to be. But I didn't, I think maybe the rape stuff maybe took me by surprise. Anyway, shouldn't, but did. Let's see. Proctor needs a lesson on consent. Proctor needs to watch SVU is what he needs to do. I don't know if you know this, but there's a bunch of studies that show that the popularity of SVU is directly correlated with the understanding of what consent means among a certain demographic of people, namely younger people. So SVU's popularity has actually done something for that, even though it's a really objectively crappy show that I also happen to think is high art. Let's see. How many convictions could this upend? It could upend many convictions. I hope it could. I mean, in other jurisdictions, it might. If one thing, Supreme Court of the United States, if there's one, even if you disagree with a bunch of the decisions that they've made, one thing that some of the conservative justice seem very aligned on is systemic racism in the courts. So who knows? Maybe it will upend some convictions. I'm not saying that these convictions would have to go to the Supreme Court, but there is no conviction integrity unit in Norfolk County right now. And that's something that Adam Deitch would like to start. Okay. Here we go. That's what we have to talk about on Monday. We still have to talk about Emily C's interview with Deitch.
Yes,
we never talked.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a reference to sand N-words. There's a lot of politics in here. A lot of obviously reactions to sort of political rhetoric. And I think that folks should not let that go by. The sort of normalcy the normalizing of the political rhetoric around deport their asses. Like, deportation used to be more like circumspect. People were more circumspect around it. If you were here, you were undocumented. If you were not in the process of whatever, if you had committed an actual crime, there's the conversation. One of my neighbors was deported. It was really weird. But anyway, it used to be something that we didn't just throw around and say that it should happen to everybody. Detroit.
Well, and then
here's a good Asian epithet here. Here's one that other people said they didn't know.
Department of Homeland Security is sort of new.
Oh, it's post 9/11. Yeah, it didn't actually.
Yeah, it's not been around for a very long time. So
yeah, Department of Homeland Security was created after the after 9/11. Here's another Asian slur that some folks said they didn't know. Which I'm like, how did you not know that?
The sand N-word?
No, the sand N-word is one. I'm sorry, but the CH word.
Give me a break. Are you kidding? That one's like been since like the 50s.
I know. That's an old-timey one.
Lindsay, thanks for the $5. Lindsay says Goode and Proctor are morally bankrupt individuals, and the comment regarding Sandra Birchmore was heartbreaking, especially knowing what happened to her. I completely agree, and they are despicable pieces of shit, in my opinion. Yeah.
Detroit doesn't escape. Detroit apparently is a breeding ground for N-words to run wild. Mary Ann Scapiccio slightly misquoted this one. Unless there's another one, there could be another one that we don't know. She said kill an N-word day. This says punch an N-word day. Rosemary, get your act together. No, I'm just kidding. There very well could be another one that says kill, so I'm not discounting that. Right. Here's one where I just blanked out the whole word, so I'm guessing what that one says. I pretty much know. Here we go. Here's the epithet that people pretended not to know.
All G's have shrubs between their legs, and this is referring to Asian folks. I am blown away again that there were so many content creators who said this word aloud. White content creators who said this word aloud.
Mm-hmm. Here's my peak one.
Yeah.
America sucks. Hitler was really onto something, and then the fucking US had to step in and ruin it. So you know how when some people get mad, when people throw around the word Nazi, I don't think the word Nazi should be thrown around loosely. I really don't. I don't think if somebody is wronged at work by a fellow colleague, they should throw on the word Nazi. I mean, unless they're being humorous. People, soup Nazi, whatever, who fucking cares? Breastfeeding Nazi. That's what I had to deal with when my kids were born. But this is slightly, I think it's fair to say that Michael Proctor is at the very least a Nazi sympathizer, if not an actual Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times. Really good times.
This is where it says in part 6, where it says throughout the course of their friendship, which dates back to high school, Goode and Proctor bonded over their warped prism through which they both view their surroundings and the individuals they encounter in their personal and professional lives.
Yes. This is the 2013. Here's more fun ones. Cunts, fat cunts, real cunts. I want to see the cunt taxonomy.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the chart of who fits into which cunt category, because it sounds like they have a lot of cunt taxonomy going on.
This highlight that you have here at the bottom of this paragraph where it says they actually memorialize in writing and voice messages to their like-minded friends, not a few communications, thousands of them. That tells you how comfortable they were with this kind of language and how comfortable they were that they were protected.
Do you know why I highlighted this?
Tell me why.
Do you think every other friend on that chain is not a cop? No, of course there are cops on these messages. Of course.
Right.
I think that what's shameful is that not only has the Norfolk County DA known about this since August, September, whatever, October, right? They've known about it. They've had them. So has the Canton PD. The focus of the investigation has been on Goode and Proctor. I would die on my belief that there are other Massachusetts state police officers in these threads. There are other municipal police officers in these threads. I would die on the hill of that belief. And the fact that if they have the information and they aren't launching investigations into every single one of those people, that's what happens. What happens is someone gets caught and then there's public outcry and public action. What about all the guys in here who are not involved in the Karen Reed case? What about all the guys in here who are just cops walking around in Massachusetts doing their fucking, they should 100% all be immediately suspended and put under investigation, same way that Goode and Proctor were.
So here's one of the things that I sort of realized when I was reading through this filing, and that is that when Brian Albert and Brian Higgins destroyed their phones, it wasn't because they would be caught communicating about how to cover up John O'Keefe's murder. It was because they would be caught.
Because of that.
Here's the thing. I don't think that they're dumb enough to do that on their phones. Maybe talk about it on a phone call, but I don't think they're dumb enough to do it in text. I don't think they're dumb enough to do it in an audio message.
There's probably some stuff in code, though. Probably some stuff like, hey, I got that thing done. Like stuff like that would look bad.
But my point is that they weren't worried about saying this kind of shit until they were going to have to hand over their phones. And so to me, they probably destroyed their phones because they were more concerned about this kind of shit than actually like, that's why they were so dismissive, I think, about getting rid of their phones, because they weren't worried about finding communications about how to, cover up the murder. They were worried that they were going to get caught calling Black people the N-word.
I just want to know all the other law enforcement people that were on these chains. I want to know all of them.
I would assume there are lots of people on there with the last name Albert.
Congratulations, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. You made the cunt taxonomy. You are a little cunt. Congratulations to Bob Kraft, who didn't escape notice for being a terrible, quote, terrible cunty Jew.
Wait, can we go back up to number 8, though?
Sure.
They discussed sharing private nude pictures of women and intentionally ejaculating on women while they slept. Few protected classes, community members, or public figures were spared. And then that's when we go into the list. So when we're talking, like, again, we're not lawyers, but when we're talking about the legality of this and how it pertains to Karen Read, that one in particular pertains to Karen Read, because when Michael Proctor testified on the stand that he was just joking about looking for nudes, we all know that he was lying about that now, because there are other examples of them sharing nudes of women, looking for nudes of women, and talking about women being nude. And we're actually going to see an example coming up in a little bit from Sean Goode talking specifically about Karen Read and what she looks like.
By the way, I 100% agree with this. I think I've never thought Tom Brady is a good person. I've never understood the fandom outside of the fact that he was a great quarterback. Okay, so here we are. I would love, somebody said that they really want in Sean Goode's deposition, the very first question to be, so why do you think Anne Frank is a lying cunt? Why?
Can you believe saying that? I mean, here's the thing. I know because of the way that Michael Proctor, like, because of his voice, because I heard him, I know they think some of this is jokes, and that there are men who believe that being this offensive is really funny, and that, maybe they don't believe it, but I'm telling you, these people probably believe it. That's my opinion. But I think there are certain groups of men, and maybe some women, who think that saying the most offensive thing they can possibly think of is what's gonna be the funniest thing.
But that's not even a good, if they think it's like, people make dark jokes around like Helen Keller and Frank, like historical figures that mean something a lot to a group of people or whatever, they make jokes about it. And on some spectrum of humor, like some would say, hey, that joke is an offensive joke, but it's like an objectively clever joke, right? This isn't that. This is just stupid.
Well, these guys are dumb. I mean, they're dumb as fuck. So all right, so you highlighted something in bullet point 9.
I did. Now this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Despite the Canton PD had received, reviewed, verified, and analyzed these same messages nearly a year ago, Sergeant Goode remained employed with full rank as a sworn police officer until 2 days ago. The point being that we know from this filing that they were informed by the lawyers for who they're maybe by the NCDAO. They were informed. I saw it's in the filing. They were informed that this was going to be dropping, that this lawsuit was coming, and then the Canton Police Department put out a statement about this. Did you see that? About how he didn't show up for his investigative hearing. Goode didn't show up for his investigative hearing. He was supposed to show up for a final thing like this week or Monday, and they took his resignation on the 29th and accepted it. But this was coming out. He knew.
But they let him resign.
They had this content. They had this content. I mean, you can't stop somebody from resigning, but they should have. But they had this content. They had all of it. And the fact that there even needed to be a 7-month investigation is wild.
Yeah. Yep. Lisa Schreiber, thanks for the $5. Lisa says, anyone else think that quote unquote preparing Proctor for his deposition equals getting him dried out, sober, and protected from some of his quote unquote peers? ? Thanks, ladies. I think that they have been trying to prepare Proctor for his deposition for months, which is why they filed earlier for the discovery from the Karen Reed case, because they wanted to be able to sit down with Michael Proctor and prepare him for anything. And when the judge denied that, I think Michael Proctor has been shaken in his boots ever since then. And I think that he probably had this is my opinion, he probably had some sort of a panic attack when he realized that Alan Jackson was coming.
Yeah.
And Alan Jackson got on a plane and flew to Boston is flying to Boston.
He also knew this was coming. So, yeah. I mean, Sean Goode, as soon as he found out this was coming, told Michael Proctor this was coming. He knew. Yeah. Michael Proctor knew that all this stuff was about to be published. Miss Jessica, have fun in Laconia. Lake Winnipesaukee is beautiful. Laconia has a little bit of honky-tonk charm to it that I've always loved. It's got like a big old arcade called Fun Spot. It's got like some divey bars and restaurants. It's definitely sort of like the it's the Atlantic City of Lake Winnipesaukee, as it were. It's like kind of like the cheesiest, most touristy. But Lake Winnipesaukee itself is gorgeous. And if you get an opportunity to go out onto a boat onto the lake, I would highly recommend doing so. You'd be amazed by its beauty and mountainous surroundings.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Jimmy Fallon goes there every weekend.
One of the things we haven't really talked about yet, but one of the other things that happened between Thursday and today was that Michael Proctor's team filed an emergency protective order so that he wouldn't. Basically, they were saying that he couldn't show up for this deposition that he's supposed to have with Alan Jackson on Monday. He wanted to delay, basically, Alan Jackson, tearing him apart on this in the deposition. His lawyer said that he had trial obligations that kept him from prepping Michael Proctor. And personal circumstances affecting Michael Proctor.
Yeah, these are the personal circumstances right here, my friends.
Yeah, these are the personal circumstances. But Gildea was having none of it. And he said, I don't really care. You guys need to get this done basically over the weekend. And by Sunday at 5 p.m., I want supporting evidence of what you're talking about for this delay. And they are having an emergency Zoom hearing on Monday at 8:45 a.m. to figure out if this protective order is going to stand or not. So we'll all be waiting to hear that. We probably won't get to see it, but man, these fucking assholes. Like, I understand that you have to defend your client, but this guy needs to answer for some of this shit.
Yeah. And but they'll avoid it forever. That's what Goode just didn't show up to his stuff.
I think that Gildea is seeing that though, and he's getting in front of it a little bit. So that makes me happy.
Right. And Gildea is not blanket protective ordering anything. He's basically saying we can extend some of this for the time being, but I will still be making decisions along the way as to what needs it or not. Gildea is fair and Gildea is good. So there's no way Gildea is going to allow him skate this deposition. And if he doesn't skate it, it means he's just going to be a no-show and he's going to get sanctioned. So.
And Gildea, he's on the defamation case as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So one other thing I want to say before we continue on with this filing is that the Haas defendants did have one quick win this week in that case. They had requested a protective order to keep their communications. This is hilarious. They wanted to keep their communications with the Norfolk County DA's office impounded in secret. And I think we can all understand and guess why. And then Karen Reed and Aiden's attorneys, they want all discovery to be stayed because they will be filing anti-SLAPP motions, which would, obviously protects free speech from frivolous lawsuits. Judge Gildea ruled, and this sounds like a good win for the House defendants, but it has a caveat. So Gildea ruled that the protective order that they're asking for is allowed to proceed for now. Because he wants to keep discovery moving, but he has the authority to overrule the protective order and release docs if he finds good cause. Correct. Preventing the Norfolk County DA's office from having unilateral power in this situation to hide evidence.
Correct. He's basically saying yes, only so that you don't you stop fucking filing things and just keep going with your goddamn thing.
Yeah, let's move this along. But I have the right to do whatever the fuck I want, basically, which I'm really
because he is in fact the judge.
But they're like gloating about it, you know.
And the protective order is basically just an extension of something that's already in place in another proceeding. So he's just like, all right, we don't have to like rewrite the whole thing here, but this is a different case and this is my courtroom. So guys, buckle up.
Here's what I don't understand. Not with the Michael Proctor situation, but like let's talk about Colin Albert for a second and these protective orders. These people are the ones who filed these suits. Did they not realize that they would also be open to discovery and depositions, and that just because you join the military doesn't mean you don't have to show up to do a deposition? Like, they are the ones who filed these defamation suits.
Correct.
So they filed them, and now they're like, oh, but we don't want anyone to see our communications. Correct. We don't want to have depositions.
My favorite is that when they're talking about Karen Reed talking about communications they have about the McAlberts, and McAlberts are like, well, we need to see what she has. It's like, you have your own communications, motherfuckers. You have it. Just look in your own iCloud. Look at your own phones. Look at your own Instagram messages. Look at your own Signal. Look at your own everything. You have it all because you sent it.
You know what I have to say to them?
What?
The House defendants?
What?
Wrong. You wrong.
Say it again. You wrong. You wrong.
Oh, they drive me insane.
Jen!
We got
decorated dudes. They're decorated dudes.
Yeah, they are totally decorated dudes.
100% decorated dudes. Hold on. I got to stop coping editing this thing. All right. So I love the language in filing.
Yeah. So bullet point 10 is a good one, and I want to read some of it if that's okay.
That's why I have it up.
Oh, great. Okay. On January 29th, 2022, the MSP and CPD unleashed these two misogynist bigots on Miss Reed to work on the conflicted and corrupt, quote unquote, investigation into the death of Mr. O'Keefe. It did not take long to trigger their hatred and target Miss Reed. Indeed, Proctor, Goode, and other police officers and their respective organizations understood the assignment once their fellow cops and friends, Brian and Nicole Albert, Matthew and Jennifer McCabe, and Brian Higgins, referred to as House defendants in Miss Reed's pending federal court action, falsely reported that Mr. O'Keefe, quote, never went inside the house, end quote. Even though his face was battered and bruised, he had dog bites and scratches on his arm, and he had a severe laceration on the back of his head that could only have come from a backward fall onto a ridged surface in the house rather than a flat front lawn. Law enforcement began immediately targeting and framing the female outsider, Ms. Reed.
Yeah, now, they did.
If I had read all those text messages and listened to those audio messages that Michael Proctor and Sean Goode were leaving for each other, and then I had someone tell me this, I'd believe the person who wrote that.
Yes, same.
How about you?
Absolutely the same. No, I'm not gonna say a lot just because I agree with you. Yes. Same. Yes.
Tristan. Yes. Thank you. And you're hot as well.
You're hot, Tristan. We don't know for sure that Tristan's hot. How do you know?
Hey, because Tristan seems like they'd be a hot person. First of all, they have a great name. I love the name Tristan.
You do?
So yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Oh, here's where this is Sean Goode.
This one is a gem.
This is a doozy.
Gem.
This harkens back to Proctor testifying about his text messages where he was commenting on Karen Reed's leaky balloon knot and other such shitty things, pun intended. And this is what Sean Goode had to say about Karen Reed. Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
About Karen, he says, Jesus, every girl will want a brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, colitis, if you can look like that in yoga pants after killing your boyfriend. Now, the anti-Karens will point to this as proof that they did a good investigation because they knew they weren't framing her because he says in his private communications after killing your boyfriend. But yes, Jesus, every girl will want a brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, colitis, if you can look like that in yoga pants after killing your boyfriend. I mean, she does look good in yoga pants, I'm sure. So
she does. But can I just continue on with this? It says, I love the lawyer's snark.
Oh, same.
Meanwhile, as Goode pondered Ms. Reed in yoga pants, Proctor seized Ms. Reed's phone and launched immediately into a search for naked pictures of her, only to report back to his colleagues and friends disappointingly, quote, no nudes so far, end quote.
No nudes so far.
But as he wrote to others as the investigation began, he, quote, hoped, end quote, that, quote, she kills herself, end quote. Can we just, for a moment, break here?
This would be, where do they get the yoga pants picture? I believe she went to the police station in yoga pants at one point, or they saw her in yoga pants at one point.
The first time she was arrested, I think. Yeah. Can we, what was I going to say? There was something I was going to say here. Oh, you brought it up. That's what made me think of it. Let's break for just a moment and talk about how embarrassing it is that the anti-Free Karen Reed folks are already explaining this away. Do you want to bring up one of your dumb tweets of the week?
Oh, my dumb tweet? Hold on. Yeah, just give me a second.
Sure.
Keep talking.
So
stop.
Here's the thing. We all were like, let's get our, well, I said this on Twitter, let's get our bingo cards out and see how quickly folks like Cowboy, whatever his name is, and
racist, potentially Chris Albert, yeah,
and all the other FKR or AFKR people come out of the woodwork to be like, yes, I agree. Michael Proctor's comments about women and Black folks are despicable. However, he never talks about framing Karen Reed for murder. So what does this have to do with Karen Reed? And as soon as we started saying let's put the clock on, let's put the timer on to see how quickly it's going to be, who's the first one, we suddenly had the first one come out, or one of the first people come out
by exactly who you would expect. Hold on one second.
Who do you say it in the chat? Who do you think one of the first people was? Who was one of the first people to come out from the antis to start making excuses for the emails, but his emails, but his texts, all that? Who was it? KP. We got TT, Julie
Carpenter did it, but
we don't have it yet.
That's not who we're talking about.
Nope.
It's going to be a repeat winner.
Oh, somebody got it.
We have a repeat winner.
Only one person so far. And that person is Smashtronic. If you are Smashtronic, you win. We don't have anything for you, but
congratulations. My response to this on Twitter was congratulations. I think we just identified our next dumb tweet of the week. Congrats for the repeat win, Our Vault, aka Yellow Cottage Tales, aka Kevin Lenahan. I look forward to once again featuring you on the show. Yay!
Dumb tweet of the week. We got to come up with some sound.
Should we give Kevin a round of applause?
Wait, should we do the gong? Where's the gong? There. And today's dumb tweet of the week goes to Yellow Cottage Tales, aka 11. I just saw the text from Michael Proctor that Howie Carr released, stunned by how awful they were. That includes Sergeant Goode of CPD. I worked with and hung around with a lot of cops in Worcester. I owned a bar over there.
We know.
I saw a lot of locker room humor, quote unquote cop talk. But these texts don't resemble anything I ever saw with those guys, not even ballpark. The racist and anti-Semitic nature of these texts is appalling and indefensible. The damage done to the image of law enforcement in the region is incalculable. None of texts show corruption.
Wait, I need my thesaurus so I can write a tweet. Ma, where's the thesaurus?
None of these texts show corruption, however. None show planting evidence in any case, let alone Karen Reed. The fundamental truth in the case remains, she is guilty beyond any doubt, simply based on evidence the defense presented no expert to dispute. If she wants to take me to court for that, let's go. I'd be happy to present the evidence to a jury, and I won't lose.
Oh,
Kevin, except for the fact that they do actually talk about planting evidence on suspects like cocaine in this. And they also talk about sharing nude photos of women in this. Plevin,
They didn't even show any experts to dispute the evidence.
This
literally,
is disgusting.
Literally, the defense was able to pull apart every single expert that.
Literally.
You wrong. You wrong. You wrong.
This is sad. But he wasn't the only. There were many. And in fact, you were getting harassed a bit by Cowboy Fan.
I know. Poor Cowboy Fan. Do you think that he knows his calzones are
mediocre?
Less than good?
Yeah. I make better calzones. I'm going to put that out there. I also probably make better chicken parm, according to my kids.
And as we've discussed in the show, it's a hard dish to fuck up.
It's a hard dish to fuck up.
If someone's calling your chicken parm mediocre, I've had some bad chicken parm that was still good.
I would definitely have a chicken parm off with Cowboy Fan.
I'd have a calzone off.
Yeah.
I could literally show up with a donut from Dunkin' Donuts and it would be better than the calzone.
like a marinara stuffed donut.
And those Dunkin' donuts suck. They used to be super good. Now they absolutely suck.
I like Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm telling you, the quality in New England and of the actual donuts has gone way downhill. Like they're kind of like raw in the middle. They're nasty. They're really nasty. I'm not just saying that I'm not like a donut snob. I love a shitty donut, as we've discussed on the show. I like the donuts from Market Basket, which are not gourmet, but I think they're yummy.
I do too.
But like, yeah. All right. So here we were. I keep thinking I want to edit it, but I don't. Yes.
I will say that point 13 and point 14 have some really big important points in them. And I think
let's talk about that.
All right. So 13 says MSP and CPD's quote unquote investigative approach was born out of Proctor and Goode's perverse and depraved pattern of singling out and vilifying, and this is in italics, an outsider while protecting the quote blue line end quote and their families. I think that's a really important point. And it was made, and they say this was of course made more palatable by dehumanizing Miss Reed, which we just showed examples of. And then bullet point 14. Hold
on.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop myself off the screen for a minute while you read this. I will be listening, so I'll be able to scroll. Okay. I just have to make a quick phone call as discussed earlier in the program.
Yeah. Get your nails did. Okay. So this is where Yuri Buchanan comes into play. And bullet point 14 says, with the help of Goode and CPD, Proctor and his colleagues at MSP, including his direct supervisor, Mr. Yuri Buchanan, conducted a fundamentally conflicted and corrupt investigation where the goal was to pin it on the girl, and which included rampant violations of policies, procedures, and ethical rules. And I love this little bullet point because we're going to go into some examples, which they were not allowed to present necessarily during the trial because Auntie Bev did not allow Michael Easter to testify as an expert witness. So, for example, of rampant violations of policies, procedures, and ethical rules, as described further below, despite the overwhelming evidence that Mr. O'Keefe was inside the house at 34 Fairview, they did not search the home for blood, fingerprints, or DNA evidence. The house was neither processed nor photographed by a forensic criminalist. And indeed, the investigators did not even walk into the crime scene house until a week later, and then only for a pro forma visit and a brief quote-unquote interview of Nicole Albert. No effort was made to secure evidence from the Albert's German Shepherd, even though Mr. O'Keefe's body was found in the front yard with fresh and obvious dog bites and scratches on his right arm. Nor did Proctor Buchanan or any other MSP colleagues conduct any physical examination of the house defendants or attempt to seize their phones. The investigators did not attempt to secure the crime scene, document evidence, collect biological material, videotape or record interviews, take DNA control samples, geolocate digital devices at the scene, collect electronic devices, secure surveillance footage, create a crime scene log, or maintain even the most basic chains of custody in accordance with well-established investigative protocol. We've gone over this a lot, but I love it when they lay it out like that. And
I like it when it's laid out too.
This is like, these were like the baseline of what they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
And they chose not to do it. And you have to ask yourself why.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either laziness, which sucks, or it's immediately like a preconceived notion because of what direction you've been pushed into or whatever your bias is telling you, which also sucks. And then we go into bullet point 15. And
This is my favorite part I just like how they just say it. This included planting evidence at the scene on Mr. O'Keefe's clothes and on Ms. Reed's vehicle.
Yeah, and that was with the help of others at both Massachusetts State Police and Canton Police and Proctor and Buchanan and all of them. And they were basically intentionally diverting attention away from Proctor's friends and fellow law enforcement officers. And I mean, when you read how he thinks of his job and the people that he has to police, I mean, it's there. You can see that's what they were doing.
I believe there's a quote about that later in the thing where he says, I hate 95% of the people I have to see every day.
Yeah.
Good times. Very, very good times.
This next one's good.
Oh, yeah.
Number 17. Incredibly, Proctor himself acknowledged this fact in 2017 after 4 years on the job, telling his friends, quote, no idea how I passed the background, end quote. And what he's referencing is basically his failures.
Well, he didn't. He tried to get into the Boston Police Department.
Yeah, he was unfit for this job.
Did not get in after his background check, which he later in this document claims is because the person doing the check was a Black woman.
Right.
But now that there's a whitey doing it, he lets all his friends know, you got to please lie for me this time.
We're not talking about Whitey Bulger. We're talking about a cracker.
Right. We're being racist, Mel. Oh,
yeah,
just kidding.
Yep.
Those
racist
of us who believe that it's
exist.
possible to be racist to white people. Anyway, so he rallied all his friends, got them all to tell the same story. They're like, okay, just tell us what we're supposed to say. Literally not how that is supposed to work.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've had people ask me to help them with what?
Wait, what? Can you go back to 18?
100%. I've had people ask me in the past to help them out with their job referral things. Like someone's going to call you for reference or whatever. And then when I don't feel comfortable, they'll be like, hey, can you just downplay X or downplay Y? And I'll say, sure, I'll answer whatever questions they have, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would never, I mean, that it's unprofessional to both specifically say something somebody should have did at work, because that can be seen as interfering with employment, but you can signal in many ways that they might be a challenge to work with. Oh, I found them sometimes challenging to work with. That'll
Emily said, shouldn't state police have higher standards than municipal police?
You'd think.
You'd think they would, but not so much in Massachusetts.
Although in big cities versus state, there might be some parity there in terms of prestige.
Yeah.
I think that probably the BPD probably comes with some manner of prestige locally, but who knows? Hey, MAGA.
MAGA, you are the
Put her back up. Put her back up.
You stop clicking that button, Rebecca.
You stop clicking that button. You stop.
It's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that.
You don't know what political party I'm registered to, friend. Just going to say it.
Yeah, she knows. You're
making a broad assumption there. No,
she knows about me. She knows about me because we've talked about it. And here's the thing. I am loosely considering myself a Democrat these days because I don't like either party right now. I think they're both assholes and I think they're both corrupt as fuck. And I am considering independent. I was brought up libertarian basically. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm registered right now because I've gone back and forth between being undeclared and different parties, depending on which primary I like to vote in. Yeah. I could be registered literally as anything. It all depends on how lazy I felt as I was walking out of the polling place last time. Okay. I appreciate dad jokes. And I also appreciate that you paid $2 to say this dad joke. The Trav abides. They said, ever been to the Doritos farm? It's a cool ranch. Do we have that?
We do. You should have had me prepared.
Ever been to the Doritos farm?
Oh, I don't think I have that. I just have the drum roll bangos.
It's a cool ranch. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. The reason I wanted to go to 18.
Instead, I was like this.
I know. Sorry. The reason I wanted to go back to 18 is because this is one of the bones of contention from the antis.
But they're so smart. We should really pay more attention to what they have to say.
They're so.
I'm going to look up while you're explaining this. I'm going to look up one of their accounts right now. Just I want to see.
Okay. While you're doing that, I want to bring this up and I want to discuss it. So I actually partly agree with them, even though it's all semantics. So number 18 says, now, after being twice acquitted of all charges relating to Mr. O'Keefe's death, Ms. Reid brings this action to recover for and address MSP's and CPD's actions, inactions, and negligent failures to ensure that justice was sought and served in the aftermath of January 29th, 2022. So they are taking issue with the fact that her lawyers are saying, and I believe that this was a tweet from Big Red, now after being twice acquitted of all charges. She was acquitted in the second trial. It was a mistrial, a hung jury in the first trial. So I think that's what they're upset about. What are your thoughts and opinions? Do you think it's fair to say that she was twice acquitted?
I don't care. Honestly, that's one of those like red herring things. It doesn't matter. I mean, she was not convicted twice. That's for sure, which is what they would have liked. I just don't. I think stuff like that is like the semantics. Okay, I've got one.
Uh-oh.
Mama Llama.
Here we go.
Who, by the way, was apparently a frequent trial attender as well. The Proctor texts are repugnant, whether they're 10 or 15 years old, doesn't matter. They are hateful, misogynistic, racist, anti-Semitic, and utterly appalling. And I was genuinely speechless when I read them. I'm just going to editorialize here, Mama, because I'm guessing that you knew they were going to be bad, but you were really worried they were going to be this bad. And it turns out they were. And that really hurts my talking points. Yeah. They have also absolutely nothing to do with Karen Reid, Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, Brian Higgins, Brian Albert, and Nicole Albert, all of whom did not know Proctor prior to John O'Keefe's death, which is a lie.
Is this because I'm a lesbian?
Mama Llama lies.
Mama Llama lies. She lies. When she lies, when she cries. That will be me. That will be me. We have to run up to play this on the screen so people know what we're talking about at some point.
Yeah, I just don't want to get copyright stricken. But we're talking about Lily Taylor's amazing song in Say Anything. Okay. These despicable text messages have no bearing on the investigation into who is responsible for John O'Keefe's death. The police followed the evidence, and that evidence led them to the Lexus. No, it didn't. The rich white woman was not framed, and no evidence was planted. Do it again.
You're wrong.
Come on.
You stop hitting the button.
How do you plan? How do you plan her admissions? You mean these?
I hit him.
You plant them by having Jen McCabe say them. That's how you plant admissions. Literally, the admissions were planted by Jen McCabe. How do you plant her car's text stream data? How do you plant John's cell phone data? I don't know, maybe turn off location services for a while. How do you plant broken taillight before the police were called?
Sandwich.
What broken taillight was found before the police were called? Show me. Show me the broken taillight that was found before the police were called. Who found it? Did Brian Albert come out of his house and find it? No. Did Jen McCabe get out of her car and find it?
Correct.
No. Did Jen McCabe instead whisper to the police? He's gone. He's
correct.
Passed. So this is just full of like more lies like in here designed to get people. How do you plant John's cell phone data? What cell phone data? The cell phone data that he walked 78 steps and went up 3 flights of stairs. That cell phone data that was planted? Was that planted? Is that what you say? The cell phone data that shows the phone temperature never went below like 55 degrees. Is that the cell phone data that was planted?
Becky's going off.
I'm not just asking. I'm asking what cell phone data was planted that we are saying was planted. You mean all the cell phone data that actually makes Karen Reid look less guilty and makes John O'Keefe look more like he went in the house and had an unfortunate end to his life? That cell phone data? Not planted, friend. How do you plant the John's battery cell battery temperature? You mean the cell battery temperature, which shows that his cell battery temperature went down over a rapid period of time to a set point that was far above the point of freezing?
That he was still soft and pliable when the EMTs got there?
Are you saying that we planted the cell phone temperature data that makes it look more like he was kept in a garage and not less like he was kept in a garage?
No hypothermia.
How do you plant all of her lies in her interviews to media? What lies in her interviews to media specifically? What lies in her interviews to media? You mean the things that she said that you know prove that you're lying? Those lies?
Correct.
You
Mama.
good?
My friend Mama, man. I'd love to have a convo with Mama.
Would you really?
No.
That would be so disingenuous. It would be so awful.
It would. I'd have douche chills till the day I died.
Blech. That would
Good
be so
time.
awful.
Good times. Here's to good times. Tonight is kind of special.
Okay, we are getting now into inveterate bigots. Is what
Inveterate. Wait, where are the inveterate bigots? Where are they?
28.
28. There we go. I love this part.
Inveterate bigots.
Yes.
Yes.
You know that Lenahan was like, what's the definition
inveterate
of inveterate?
What's a synonym for inveterate?
What's a synonym for inveterate that I can use in my
Siri.
very pithy tweet that I'm going to send out? I have to get some Lenahan sound effects. I'm going to get some Lenahan sound effects. I'm going to get some Buchanan reading texts sound effects.
Okay.
I just have to pull down the audio and cut it. It's just me being lazy that I haven't done that so far, but I'll take care of it.
Lazy. Stop being mean to yourself. Okay.
Oh, I am. And I'm proudly so. Proudly so.
28. I only had inveterate bigots in 28. Did you have anything else?
Nope.
I think 31 was the next one.
Oh yeah. Oh, we both got this.
Michael Proctor, this is in 30, but it says Michael Proctor could not tame his bigoted views. And here are some examples. On February 26, 2013, Proctor wrote to his friends, quote, "Hey, dickheads.
Nice.
Just wanted to give you two a heads up that you guys may get a call from a state trooper named Scott Cooper, who's doing my background check. Don't know who far back they're going to go with this stuff, but didn't want to have this guy catch you off guard."
Wouldn't want him to accidentally have you tell the truth about me. That would be bad.
And then his friend responded, Proctor's friend responded, "No problem, but what are we supposed to say? Last time, the BPD, Boston Police Department, lady was grilling me for exact dates as to when and how long you lived in Brighton, how we paid rent, to who, etc. Anything specific we should be aware of?" End quote.
Want to hear a little bit about Scott Cooper? He sounds like actually a decent guy. I mean, it's not his fault that his friend at Michael Proctor's friends all lied to him.
No,
a longtime investigator with the MSP, best known for his work as an explosive detection canine handler,
and he has
involvement
grammar
as a witness. What's that?
He has pretty good grammar and punctuation.
Who's Scott Cooper?
Well, his Proctor's friend, whoever that was.
Oh, hold on. What did his friend say? No problem. But what are we supposed to say? I mean, that sounds like a text for me. I text in all lowercase all the time. I tweet that way too.
No, I'm saying that the guy who responded used periods and punctuation and had pretty good grammar. But then Proctor responds, "That lady was an absolute cunt rag something or other who had it in for bear," which is Proctor.
Yeah, I got to pull up the doc again because I love the bear part. I love that he refers to himself by his own nickname.
Yeah.
She had it in for bear.
She had it in for bear. And talk to this guy for a half
I believe there's an N-word underneath that redaction.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Absolute cunt rag N-word.
N-word.
Had it in for bear. Bear is him. Talk to this guy for a half hour today, and I would be shocked he pulled the same shit as her just from how she acted with me on the phone. So basically, probably older white dude, or at least white dude, is going to act differently than the black woman.
I don't think Scott Cooper's older. I think Scott Cooper is just white, so they know he's safe.
Got it. Okay.
He's a safe one.
Apparently, the Massachusetts police did not pull the same shit as the Boston Police Department, who did not hire him.
You know how like some older people, like boomer types, will just drop somebody's race into a conversation when it has no applicability. They'll be like, "So I was being helped by this woman at TJ Maxx. I was being helped by this Asian woman at TJ Maxx who then gave me an extra $10 off my shirt." It's like the fact that she's Asian or black or whatever has literally nothing to do with what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. This is like the opposite, where race has everything to do with it, like the immediate suspicion and like dropping people's races in there. Like it's like literally because that's the reason why I didn't get in. Did Proctor give himself that nickname? Probably, because probably he heard that like many years ago about my proclivity for straight bears and he wanted to be in my dating pool.
It's probably exactly what it was.
He's a lot younger than me, so I know that's not why it was. Also, my proclivity for straight bears really only began, I'd say, in 2008. So, yeah, that could have been
it. Proctor's views even polluted his thinking about Massachusetts State Police's hierarchy and leadership when he said, quote, "If that person is black, they will probably make him the next colonel of the state police," end quote.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. And here we go with a list of more.
God forbid we have a quote DEI hire for our colonel of the state police.
Hatred. But much of his aggression and hatred was directed at women, is what they're saying. And we know that just from the little tiny bit we heard at trial. Despite the look on my face, thanks for the $10. And despite the look on my face says, dear apologist, have you ever had a boss that clearly didn't like you? Did they treat you fairly and promote you as you deserved? Or did they hold back, sabotage your career growth? Think about it.
What does it have to do with anything?
That's profound. I think this person is saying that it's not that it's just that somebody didn't like him. It has nothing to do with their race. Okay. Thanks for the $10. Should we go through some of these lists of this is the awful part too.
I know. Well, we'll go through it quickly and with humor. Because that's what I do.
Okay, great.
Let me put my mask of disguising pain on my face and talk about this, shall we?
Thank you.
Discussing a sexual partner, not wanting to be ejaculated on. Sorry. Cancel. Sorry. This thing keeps coming up.
I know. It's when you click on it.
I had that clicked on. I got to click on this instead. Discussing a sexual partner not wanting to be ejaculated on. That's when you whack off on her sleep while she's asleep. Tell her one way or another. You will then tell her one way or another. So it's not bad enough to just whack off on her while she's sleeping, but you got to make sure she knows that you're going to do that. What a wonderful life his wife must have had while she was when they were together. Fat twat apparently has a taxonomy of twats as well. Giant malignant cunt. Where is that on the cunt taxonomy?
And I love that he put in parentheses. Did I spell that right? Malignant?
No, that wasn't him. That's I believe in the maybe.
Are
maybe
you
that is
sure?
him. No, that is him.
That's him.
He cares. He wants to make sure to spell malignant correctly. Good for him. We already talked about this.
The
pigs.
The part where he's like trying to like have anal sex with his girlfriend while she's sleeping.
I make every effort possible.
How desperate he is. It's just so disgusting and pathetic.
Do you know what I see when I see this? I see an alternate world in which like he's a super nice guy. Like she won't even let me fucking buy her flowers. I make every effort possible. I wait till she's asleep. I order the flowers. I try to get her the flowers. She's just not into it. And it's starting to piss me off.
Okay.
No, that's like, just think about like if he applied 1/10 of this energy to making somebody happy. No.
Maybe there's a reason. Can I just say, and I'm just going to put this out there and this is my opinion, but maybe there's a reason why Bear prefers the back door.
Maybe. He discusses needing a roofie or something to find a sexual partner.
Sweet.
Needing a roofie or something. Okay. Ain't gonna happen. She'll pass out at 9 and I'll stay up till midnight drinking and watching movies, and I can swoop in for the kill when she's asleep though.
This one on the bottom is so ridiculous. And I think that it's a very, like, this is my confirmation bias about some men. This is such like a, yeah, dude, just like fuck the ugly chicks. Like, you're never going to be able to do this when you're with a 12. I'm like, who the fuck, in what world would Michael Proctor ever be with a Brazilian smoke show top 12 model? Get the fuck over yourself. Honestly.
Well, my dry cleaner tells me that a lot of the state troopers are married to very attractive women. So, as I've said on the show many times.
Jesus Christ.
My dry cleaner is the authority on troopers' wives because they do all the dry cleaners' uniforms. They have all the troopers' uniforms at my dry cleaner. And she always asks me if I'm Trooper Lavoie's wife. And I'm like, no. And she always says, you look like a trooper's wife. And I say, what does that mean? She goes, they're all very attractive and well put together. I'm like, that's a huge compliment, but I am not a trooper's wife.
Hey, despite the look on my face, thanks for being a member for 1 month. They say it's relatable X of how bias affects treatment. I don't understand what that means. Please feel free to
what he's saying is that
he or she, not sure.
He or she is imagine like Proctor is your supervisor and they don't like you and they keep you getting promoted. It could be because you are in the group that they don't like.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course.
And yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we assumed the worst of you there for a second, despite the look on my face. You wouldn't be a member if you were a bad person.
Wow. You never know. Like with the people who give out gifted memberships, I love it because I'm sure that some of our trolls get those gifted memberships, and that makes me very happy. Also, I would just want to say for a little break here, because it's not happening on the screen, I really appreciate the tips that you guys are sending over. We just really, really appreciate the tips because YouTube doesn't take any of that money from us.
I pinned that Venmo to the bottom chat if you want to send us a tip, or you can use the Cash App that's on the screen.
Yeah. Roberta, Christy, Shauna, Michelle. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but those are the people that have been sending over tips, and I really, really, really appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much. And if there's a comment you'd like to leave, let us know.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Referring to an overweight woman as a disgrace. What a disgrace.
Yeah. Michael Proctor saying that. Fuck him.
Michael Proctor, who literally has fat rolls on the back of his head.
Oh, okay. That's why he puts his Oakleys on the back of his head to cover the fat rolls.
Like, no shame in that. But like, it's always the people that it's like people tell on themselves so hard with the insults that they throw out there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So those were all the text messages and possible audio messages of why he hates women. These are the ones that he's prolifically messaging his friends about of his similar hatred of Black, Asian, Hispanic, Arab, and Jewish people. So let's do that list now. These are ones we haven't, I don't think, read before out loud, but
well, we saw this one. You actually take your time. I saw an N-word was involved, so I wouldn't rush if you're working. Let them die. And we know emphasis was added because that's the one that's on audio.
Right. Literally, and then he says, quote, literally hate 99% of the people I meet, see, and deal with. So those would be the people that he meets, sees, and deals with in his job duties on a daily basis, more than likely. Dudes went into Canton High. Oh, we already read this one.
This one is unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to read it though, because I feel like it is important. Dudes went into Canton High this morning to get a transcript and saw more N-words in 10 minutes than the 4 years I spent there combined. Everywhere I looked, there was monkeys running around. Nice grammar there, Proctor. Wanted to ask the woman in the guidance office, where were all the white kids? Where the fuck did all these little N-words come from? Rhymes
little
with
endlets.
Rhymes with piglet. Michael Proctor said that. And then he's going on to discuss football games because, I mean, white supremacists, Nazis, people like Michael Proctor love to tear apart Black folks who play sports. And he says, you notice
unless they're on their team and they can say, well, that's one that I like.
Right, exactly.
I think I like that one.
Discussing a college football game, he said, you notice that N-word headband from A&M said something like hashtag cash me out, which when I read this tweet, I don't think he understands what cash me out means. So would have been nice if they were still our slaves. Mm-hmm. Then I wouldn't have to go pick up Bertucci's. I'm like, dude, Bertucci's? Really? The shittiest Italian food ever?
I know.
Hey, N-word, go fetch Bear his wings and pizza.
That's what he wants.
Wings and pizza from Bertucci's. And then I don't think he understands. Does everybody else understand what cash me out means?
Why don't you explain?
It's funny. That dumb white girl, teenager who went on the Dr. Phil show and had issues with anger. He brought her on because she was, quote unquote, I believe, pretending to be a Black person. And she was wanting to fight everybody. And she said, hey, yo, cash me outside. Cash me outside. My kids say it all the time. Cash me out. Cash me outside. Get it? Cash me outside.
Yes. No, I do. Yeah. I do.
I don't think Michael Proctor got that one.
But I think you're focusing on the wrong part of the text, which I know you know.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. If he knew what that meant, it would have been going back to exactly what he was doing in the moment.
Oh, totally. Would have been nice if they were still our slaves. Then I wouldn't have to go pick up Bertucci's. Yes. Who the fuck? There's a lot that's everything about this is like the most offensive thing I've ever seen. But it is not the most offensive, but it is also offensive that he believes one should eat the wings and pizza from Bertucci's.
Yes.
If any of you in here is a Bertucci's franchise owner, I apologize profusely.
Cash me outside.
It's not your fault.
Cash me outside.
Jesus, that place was a dump. Smelled like N-words and cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Another plane was brought back to the gate because of 2 sand N-words speaking Arabic, and people on the plane were freaked out and had them kicked off. Yay! Bigotry!
The sand N-word one, or towel N-word, or you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I just want to be very clear, because this goes back to Jessica Hyde. You have in particular called Turtle Boy out for saying disparaging things about Jessica Hyde's headwear.
Yeah.
Hair covering.
Which I know is religiously significant to her.
Yes. So I just want to make this point, because a lot of people are like, oh, you guys are apologists for people who say homophobic things or people who say racist things. Nope, I'm not an apologist for either of those
things.
Or Islamophobic things. I will call those people out particularly. Same. And I can still be friends with somebody as long as they hear me and accept that maybe what they said was wrong.
Or accept that other people have different opinions and respect them as well.
Yeah.
And show a, okay, this is wrong. See, listen, I know you're trying to be funny. This is not funny. She wasn't pretending to be a person of color. She was not pretending to be Islamic. I believe she's Orthodox. I believe, because remember when Hank Brandon said she wasn't allowed to testify on Friday?
Can we? No one knows the context of what you're talking about right now.
So somebody put Jessica Dolezal in the thing as if she's wearing some sort of blackface by wearing a head covering. She's not.
And you're referencing Rachel Dolezal from
Rachel Dolezal, who famously did wear blackface and pretended to be a black person with a job for a black person for many years, like the head of the NAACP chapter or something like that.
TB says it's a do-rag. That is not the only thing he says.
Right.
He said other things about Jessica Hyde's because he's mad at her.
Yes.
And
yes.
Rebecca,
but if somebody were to say that about somebody that was giving great testimony for the defense, these same folks would be very offended by the fact that somebody said that about them. So just let's not apply a double standard to Islamophobia, racism, etc.
Jessica Hyde.
This may be the case too, but who cares? It's her choice to wear whatever the fuck she wants. I believe Hank Brennan said she couldn't testify on Friday, which is why I believe that she is Orthodox. Respect your different opinions. Those opinions dehumanize. Listen, I don't respect the opinion. That's not literally not what I said. Anyway, let's not. We've talked about this so much on the show. Let's not dwell on it. Yeah. This is my favorite. Word up, dudes. This is not my favorite. Obviously, I don't love this, but this is the part I like. Been crushing business shit today.
Oh my god.
It means he filed his taxes or went to he went, he went to mailboxes, etc. and got some his electric bill mailed or something. And he's been crushing business shit today. Been crushing it. Actually, not really. Just been dipping and trying to make sense of what the G word next to me is saying. Well-known epithet. Stop pretending people who never heard that in their lives. They're lucky.
Yeah.
The NBA is god awful and a fucking joke. These super teams and the refs are ruining the league. Plus, it's all N-words. Yep. All I have to say about Hernandez is stupid S-word. I believe it's SPIC.
Yeah.
But I wonder I think he's talking about Aaron Hernandez, right?
He was talking about Aaron Hernandez. Yeah.
This is how fucking stupid she is. We got a new intern. Kid is a complete lemon dick who has been here 1 week. She drags him into her office and asks for advice on how to bring the group closer together. There are 4 people who the rest of us hate, and it's obvious. 3 out of 4 are Asian. Surprise, surprise. Wouldn't mind being an N-word for the day. Just pop open a fire hydrant and suck down a few 40s while listening to some Naughty by Nature. I think that would probably be more fun, honestly, than anything that you actually do on any day, even in the best time of your life.
How about line M? I wonder how his fellow cops who are
people of color,
black cops, feel about him saying N cops. I wonder how they feel about that.
Discussing a pornographic movie called Black Jack City, and it was nothing but fat N-words getting pounded out with huge runny flapjack tits. Ooh, like there's a multiple party discrimination situation there. Detroit should be destroyed along with places like Flint, Michigan. They are breeding grounds for N-words to run wild. I really recommend, there's a documentary that aired on Netflix several years ago called Flint Town. It's really good. It's a cop documentary. It's a ride along documentary with cops. And it basically, yes, these were texts on his personal phone to other police officers.
Some of them were texts. Some of them were audio
voice memos,
that he left. Voice memos for other people.
Yes, correct. And they were texts about, I mean, remember, speech is free, but not without consequence. And this is the person who was hired to protect and serve everybody in his community.
And I believe that they
investigate things without a discriminating eye, such as sexual assaults and crimes, both perpetrated by potentially and victims who are people of color.
You keep going. I'm actually going to look up. Go ahead.
Anyway, Flint Town is a very good documentary. It's about some cops in Flint, Michigan. And there's in particular one of my favorite characters in any documentary I've seen about cops is this female cop who really has ambitions to go and work for the FBI. She's been accepted to a program in Quantico. And spoiler alert, she ends up rejecting the application because her kind of racist boyfriend cop doesn't want her to leave. And it's quite sad. Obviously, I can't watch a black dude fuck a white chick. Obviously. Blank movie. Oh, apparently there's some movie that's full of black people, so it's being counted as an N-word movie. I wouldn't rush. I heard an N-word was involved. We could use them N-words as dartboards, both displaying his racism and proclivity for bad grammar. The Punch one, famously, recommending a movie theater because there are no N-words. Discussing his first arrest and saying it was, quote, a fucking immigrant who was, quote, going back to Guatemala. Congratulations. You got what you want with one person there. Proctor, noodle N-word. I haven't shot anyone, but I did pull an N-word over today for tossing a cigarette out the window. I'm sure your community thanks you for keeping them safe for doing that. Michael Proctor. Eat a dick, Ghana. Let's enslave those N-words. My car needs a cleaning. Yet another expression of his desire to recommit to slavery in this country. Asks for everyone's favorite race to bang. Okay, this is why I highlighted this. You know why I highlighted this?
I don't.
Asks for everyone's. So in this group text, what is everyone's favorite? Who's everyone? Who are the other people? Who are the other law enforcement people in these texts? Investigate them, suspend them, make it public. As Rosemary Scapicchio says, why are we protecting these guys? Why?
Right.
Discussing Jewish people from Sharon and stating we should really keep them in a concentration camp. Wonderful. I went to this cobbler to have my asshole stretched so I could fit black hog in it and asked if they do boots
what the
too.
Fuck is wrong with him? I hate that's
a little gay, right?
Well, a lot of what he's saying is a lot gay. I'm starting to think maybe Michael
Not
Proctor's
that there's anything wrong with being gay, except for the fact that
he's obsessed with assholes and stretching his own asshole.
But he says he hates gay people. So how could that be true, Mel?
Because internalized homophobia is a fucking thing.
Do you think I was being serious?
No, I'm telling this to the audience that doesn't know that internalized homophobia is a real thing. And people who are brought up to think that gay people are awful or sinful or disgusting are going to internalize that feeling and carry it with them throughout life and then act like this man is acting to anybody who is different from him because he has been told different is bad.
Someone wants to know if we can add a PayPal for international folks. That's not a bad idea.
No, we have one. PayPal is on. Yeah, PayPal's on the main. It's on the main YouTube page, but I can post it here too.
Yeah, great. Here's important.
Mad.
More than once, Proctor discussed, quote, planting coke on people and, quote, shoving a nightstick up someone's ass.
Again, sticking something up someone's ass. He's obsessed. He's going to be real obsessed.
Hey. We do not make rape in prison jokes.
Nope, we don't.
Because cops do that shit all the time and it's disgusting.
Yep.
Proctor had no idea how he passed the background, although he did explain that MSP detective units do the background checks for applicants. They allowed a girl into the next academy who admitted to using cocaine and ecstasy and recently used those drugs. Is he talking about somebody whose initials are LG here? Does anyone on the chat have an opinion on whether or not he's talking about the original?
Wait, say it again.
He says that they allowed a girl into the next academy who admitted to using cocaine and ecstasy and recently used those drugs. Is he talking about LG, the OG?
Oh, yeah, he might be. Yeah, he's got to be. Right? That was public.
Great. Wonderful. So just going to show other people knew too. Goode was no more discreet. Oh, I thought it said Goode was more discreet. I read that wrong. Venomous ways. Oh, here we have a whole taxonomy. Cunt, fat cunt, real cunt, fucking cunt, the biggest cunt, and a slut. A slut is so benign. I'm disappointed in you, Sean. You really
I think Sean's definitely the dumber one. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, she's sending you nudes? Send them. If Lisa would let me see her cans and actually take a photo of them, I would send them. We are family here. Lisa, I believe, is his kindergarten teacher wife.
Are you serious? Wait, Goode's wife?
Am I right?
I don't know because, I mean, it's not Michael Proctor's wife because her name is Elizabeth.
I know. Hold on. Lisa Goode, Canton, Mass. Lisa Goode. That's his wife, who is a kindergarten teacher.
Holy shit.
Not that your profession makes you any more like you should be immune from stuff like this. Like she's just a woman, but she's also talking about sharing photos of his wife's private parts with colleagues. If she would let him see them, he would take a picture and share them. Great. So wait, she's sending you nudes. I'm assuming because of the context that he's talking about somebody that Proctor is with, perhaps his now wife, who may not be his wife anymore, Elizabeth. There's rumors out there that Elizabeth sent him nudes and then he shared them with his friends. If they're no longer together, this would be my guess as to why.
Nice.
Because she says the N-word all the time. You know, she knows that and she stayed married to him anyway. So that's not it. It's him sending pictures of her to other people that might send her over the edge.
Okay.
All right, let's go on to his racism, shall we? And any anti-Semitism.
I'm also going to post in the comments because it's too long to go through to read out loud. But if you want
I accidentally didn't block one out here. I'm sorry. The G word.
Oh, there's another one too. Under
I
very
know. I'm sorry. I'm
going to post this link in the comments. This is the Massachusetts State Police Cadet Training Manual. And you will find all of the discrimination practices as well as sexual harassment policies and what that entails in this little cadet training manual, which they should have been abiding by, but we're not.
Do you think the anti-gay stuff bothered Proctor when he would send it his way?
I mean, I mean, as a gay, I'm pretty sure Michael Proctor's gay.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that's why he's such a hateful human being. I'm just going to put it out there. That's my opinion. But yeah.
Goode shared similar disdain for homosexual members of the community in Canton and elsewhere, referring to them repeatedly as F-words, homos, and cocksuckers. Congratulations, Mel. You made it.
You made it. Get over yourself, Sean Goode.
Okay. I mean, as one example,
you can't tell me that most of these douchebag cops haven't thought about another man's dick. You just can't tell me that that's not true. They think about it all the time. All they do is think about each other's dicks.
Because they're feeling inadequate also. In 2022, an 18-year-old veteran of CPD, Goode shared his views in writing on Sandra Birchmore, a young woman who tragically died the year before in Canton, whose death was initially ruled a suicide until federal authorities discovered that multiple officers from neighboring town Stoughton police departments had been sexually abusing Miss Birchmore when she was a minor. After federal authorities investigated, they charged a former Stoughton police officer with her murder, and her death is now classified as a homicide at the federal level. The Norfolk County DA's office early this year changed her death from suicide to undetermined. Against this backdrop, Goode told his friends that, quote, that chick was borderline R-word. Now, he told his friends, who are the other cops?
No, I mean, the thing is,
servants on this
Massachusetts State Police and the Norfolk County DA's office and Canton PD have had access to these tweets for over a year at this point.
Texts, yes. Well, no, they've access to these texts since the late summer, early fall.
So
these are the ones that came out after trial too.
Like August through October, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So it's been 6 to 8 months. Yes.
So the fact that all the people that these guys were communicating with, like, I want to know who's been put on administrative leave. I want to know who's on the other side of these texts. And I want to know, and I mean, this used to be not, Norfolk County wasn't my community. I was Middlesex County. But if any of the cops that they're communicating with were in Middlesex County, if I lived in that county, I'd want to fucking know. Mm-hmm. Yes, Rafferty knew. Of course she did. And protecting these men, it's disgusting. Yuri promoted. You're absolutely right, Dawn. I mean, this is insane. Tully, Michael Cox, everybody fucking knows this. But I mean, here's the other thing I want to know. When you have someone like Michael Cox, who is the commissioner of the Boston Police Department and is a black man, and he sees these texts, and he
sued his own police department for discrimination and won.
And who sees that maybe these police officers are communicating with some of his own police officers. What are we doing here, you guys?
It's all about keeping the department spiffy by not letting the scandal envelop them, even though the so this is the thing that I was thinking about this morning, right? I was thinking about something that Jess Machado said on her show, which is that Turtle Boy called her and said, it's not worth losing subscribers over this. Like, knock it off. You're losing your audience. But that shouldn't be the reason why one would stop being a shit person. Not because they're losing subscribers, but because it's wrong. It's objectively. And I understand that he likely said that to her because that's something that he thought she'd be able to, like, that's a consequence. There's a real consequence of it that she might want to weigh. But if it were me, I would say, don't do this because it's wrong.
Right.
In my Massachusetts accent, my Fall River accent, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
I mean, Chicken Lady, you're right. I mean, I agree with you. Massachusetts is corrupt top to bottom, even at the local level. But this is true of not just Massachusetts politics, law enforcement, government. This is true of so many, because of our police departments, law enforcement, DA's office, state police, because they don't have a lot of oversight. There's not a lot of oversight. They have qualified immunity.
And they have very strong unions, very, very strong arm unions that get very involved in politics by backing the candidates that they want. Who do you think the police union is going to back in the Norfolk County DA's race? Who do you think?
Who do I think? Who? What?
I think hasn't the police union already backed Greg Connor in the Norfolk County DA's office
I'm sure.
race?
What I would love to see is a nationwide FOIA, basically. Like, I would love to see people start sending in FOIA requests to their local state government for communications. And I would like people to start really focusing on these, like, not just microaggressions, but these like big conversations that are happening behind the scenes that are so not appropriate. And I wouldn't be surprised if even on official communication devices, you're going to see some of this stuff.
Oh, of course.
Because they know that they have power, and they know that no one is going to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
We have to start doing it.
Would you expect Proctor to protect a fellow officer of color or LGBTQ or a woman if necessary? Would their lives be in danger? Yes. They would. And he would not.
No, wait. Yes is not to protect. Yes is their lives would be in danger.
Correct. Their lives would be more in danger because he has this internal bias.
He said it.
Yeah.
He said
it. I once had a colleague a long time ago who I know I've worked with in a very long time, so I'm comfortable telling the story, who said that he wanted to have us get along better. So he wanted to take me and another colleague to lunch because he wasn't allowed to be alone with a woman, according to he and his wife's agreement and his religion. He couldn't be alone with a woman. And you might say, hey, you got to respect his thing. But I'm like, hey, I don't. Because what he's essentially saying is that he could never actually be a woman's supervisor and give her equal treatment to a male employee. How is he going to do her one-on-ones? How is he going to do their weekly check-ins? So it's just like, if you inherently see women as a different species that you have to treat differently than men because of whatever you believe, you are not going to be fair to women when it's important to be. And it's actually illegal in the workplace to treat women differently than men. Okay. Goode helped his friends enjoy repercussions for what appears to be a regular practice of driving drunk. Can't stay away tonight. Can't help you if you get caught. Too many troopers in Milton PD. Keep this info between us. So he knew it was wrong, clearly.
Yep.
He relished his ability to use power authority to illegally obtain information about women he encountered, writing in 2015, can't wait to look this cunt up tonight at work. What a lucky cunt that is. That got to be looked up by Goode.
This part is so important right here.
Yep. This is the important part. This is it. Yep. This is the crux of the lawsuit. Proctor and Goode's biases, bigotry, and personal histories were known or should have been known to MSP and CPD when they hired, trained, promoted, and supervised them. Not only were MSPD and CPD on notice of Proctor and Goode's troubling views, but Proctor's supervisors knew Proctor had a close relationship with the Alberts. But wait, Carrie says that he didn't. Mel? Carrie Lama says he didn't. Why does this say he did?
Carrie Lama?
Mama Lama says that he didn't know them. So why does this say he did, Mel? Why?
You're wrong.
For its part, CPD refuses to acknowledge its role in this debacle investigation or recognize the flaws in its hiring, training, and supervising practices, illustrated by Goode's continued role as a sergeant for the CPD until 2 days ago, when, upon information and belief, CDP was informed by MSP's counsel that this complaint would soon be filed. So the lawyer for the Massachusetts State Police, who had notice of this filing, called the CPD. Information and belief means that somebody told them that this happened, would soon be filed. Helpful right to the end. CPD then
right to the end.
To resign 2 days before the filing of this complaint, rather than firing him, and thus saving him from reputational and financial implications of being terminated for cause.
Yeah.
And I want to find that CPD statement. Canton PD.
I have it somewhere. You look for that. I'll keep reading. This is where Buchanan comes in again, because he repeatedly and falsely wrote that, quote, Proctor has handled himself with the utmost professionalism and with strict integrity, end quote. Bullshit, Yuri Buchanan. Bullshit. This is not integrity.
Hold on. I'm saving this image. I found it easier to do screenshots for these short things.
Okay. He confirmed that they had successfully, quote, discussed MSP's policies, end quote, concerning, quote, anti-harassment and sexual harassment and discrimination and diversity, among others. I just sent those over from the cadet. So they're in the chat, the cadet manual. And then other times, this is on the next page, the MSP simply looked the other way. Everybody recognize that phrase? For example, in February 2024, 4 months before Miss Reed's first trial, the MSP was aware they had a problem specifically related to Miss Reed's case. The Department of Justice had begun investigating the investigators, and on February 1st, questioned Proctor in a grand jury proceeding about text messages he wrote in which he called Miss Reed a, quote, unquote, cunt, among other bigoted comments the Department of Justice had found. I put a note on here because I wanted to ask you the question. Hold on, let me open my note.
This is still really small. Hold on.
Is this is the grand jury testimony that Proctor did with the FBI or the Department of Justice, where afterward Tully and Buchanan stopped by to make sure he was okay because he seemed suicidal.
No, that's not why they stopped by.
Definitely not to get the download of what was asked of him in the grand jury, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. He was also questioned in the grand jury about his text at 11 p.m. on January 29th, 2022, that House defendant Brian Albert would escape scrutiny in the investigation because, quote, he's a Boston cop too, end quote. Further, Proctor was confronted at this grand jury about texts from Julie Albert to his sister, Courtney Proctor, asking to give Proctor a gift for some implied favor that he did for the Alberts during their interviews for the case. Proctor had a meeting on February 4th, 2024, and told the highest level of leadership at the MSP, which was Colonel John E. Mon, recently retired, Lieutenant Brian Connors, recently retired, and Major Leonard Koppenrath, who is active, about his testimony to the Department of Justice, including his text messages. And they did not terminate him. No. They did not immediately ask for his phone, and did not immediately investigate his bigotry. They knew it existed, where to find it, but they didn't want to, at least until Miss Reed's trial was over. Indeed, They tried to hide it from Miss Reed and the public, despite initiating an internal affairs investigation in early May 2024, before the jury in Miss Reed's first criminal trial was ever impaneled. It was not until Miss Reed's defense counsel found out about these messages and then used them during the public trial that MSP concluded it couldn't ignore this any longer. I want to ask you all a question. Can you imagine if the DOJ hadn't started investigating this? We would not know about anything that Michael Proctor thought about Black people, Asian people, Jewish people, Middle Eastern people, LGBTQ people, women. We wouldn't know any of the stuff that we've just read to you and that is now public knowledge about our law enforcement had the Department of Justice not opened an investigation into the Norfolk County DA's office and the charges against Karen Reed, which was then subsequently, we think, shut down by the current administration and will either hopefully be opened again at some point because it's just completely egregious at this point. But the idea that we wouldn't know any of this if the DOJ hadn't investigated. Thoughts, Rebecca?
100%. I mean, the thing that sticks out to me is the MSP knew it.
Yeah.
And they chose not to do anything about it until they were caught.
And they
that is why
have done
I say
anything about
again, why I say again, what other cops are on these texts? Because they will not do anything about those cops until all of the texts become public and people see. That is what shames them into taking action. I just want to share one thing because it's relevant for let me stop this for a second and I will add. Today I'm not able to share all the screens I want, which is annoying. Now I see why you've been so annoyed this whole time. Okay. So this is the statement from the Canton PD and it speaks to exactly this. The internal affairs investigation involving Sean Goode was initiated, and yes, I have this open in paint, my friend, was initiated after the town became aware of inappropriate text messages to the district attorney's office on October 4th, 2025. Upon learning of the messages, the town placed Sergeant Goode on administrative leave, opened an internal affairs investigation, and retained an outside investigator. However, the town did not and still does not possess the messages themselves. That's right, no one has seen them at the town. The town's outside investigator was granted access to the messages in December of 2025, subject to a court-issued protective order that strictly restricted dissemination of the messages. The outside investigator was required to review more than 200,000 voice notes and text messages dating back to 2013. As part of the internal affairs process, Sergeant Goode's union counsel was also permitted to review the messages in full. The scope of that review, combined with the limitations imposed by the protective order, made the process time intensive. Sergeant Goode was subsequently scheduled for an internal affairs interview, but refused to appear. The town then initiated termination proceedings and placed the appointment of a hearing officer on the June 2nd, 2026 select board meeting agenda. However, Sean Goode tendered his resignation on May 29th, effective June 2nd, before those proceedings could be completed. Under Massachusetts civil service law, the town was required to conduct a full adjudicated hearing before terminating Mr. Goode. His resignation occurred before that hearing could take place.
Wow.
The internal affairs report will be released when finalized and will be a public record, subject to legally required redactions. I'm sure it will be. This report will also be provided to the Peace Officer Standards Training Commission. That's POST. They're the ones who can determine if you can ever be a cop again. Claims that the town knowingly ignored misconduct or failed to take these allegations are inconsistent with the actions taken. Bullshit. Upon learning of the allegations, the town promptly removed Sergeant Goode from the workplace, retained an independent investigator, pursued appropriate personnel action based on the information available through the investigative process. The messages are abhorrent, deeply offensive, hateful, and do not reflect the values of the Canton Police Department or its members. The men and women, they literally do because he worked there. The men and women, I mean, I want to know what other Canton police officers were on those texts. I guarantee there were some. The men and women of the Canton Police are entrusted with serving every member of the community fairly, professionally, and with respect. Preserving that trust requires accountability, transparency, and adherence to the highest standards of public service. The town of Canton wants the community to know the allegations involving conduct that calls into question the professionalism, integrity, or impartiality of a police officer are taken seriously and addressed in accordance with applicable law and post requirements. Town of Canton's pissed that people are saying they knew.
So, well, here's the thing. When they say, as soon as they found out about the allegations,
yes,
they put him on paid administrative leave. What came along with the allegations. That's my question.
Right.
What allegations? What are they talking about? Are they talking about these court appearances where a judge said, yes, we can see the text messages, or your team can see the text messages? Like, where did the allegations stem from? Because they're saying that they did have access to the messages, but they weren't heavily disseminated.
No, they weren't allowed to look at them because they were still under a seal, is what they were saying.
No, they haven't been under a seal.
No, they were under a protective order. That's why they're saying that their investigator couldn't look at them until December. That's what they're saying.
Since December. My point is that we are in June.
Right. But as if they had never heard any whisperings, allegations, or anything about this guy before.
Bullshit.
Can you imagine that to be true?
Bullshit. No.
Kevin Albert heading to a military-based refuse bin. Correct. You must be British.
Exactly.
I love refuse bin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we are again. Launched a probe by Kevin Dwyer. All right. The Proctors and Alberts were not confronted with any text or social media depicting their decades-long family-like bond. This is the bond between the Proctors and Alberts, which, by the way, that's not true, because Mama Llama says that Alberts didn't know Michael Proctor before the death of John O'Keefe. So I don't know why they would put this obvious lie in this filing. Why do you think they would put this obvious lie in this filing, Mel? Because Mama Llama said, like, I believe women. I believe Mama Llama.
Mama Llama can say all she likes, but she's wrong. She's wrong.
Kitty on the Beach, thank you so much for the super chat, $4.99. Wanted to send earlier when Mel was being vulnerable, but I was driving and remembered the feelings under the box bed that Rebecca talks about. As I talk about the Irish feelings box, I have my own version of the Irish feelings box. It's called the Italian feelings box.
Yep.
It's actually an old cannoli box that has a little bit of cream on the bottom tray, and I just stuff my feelings in there. I don't stuff it under the bed, though.
It's not like a Mike's pastry box.
No, well, Mike's pastry is deeply overrated. I actually stuff my feelings box underneath my desk, where I also keep my Barbie dream closet, which is also a feelings box in its own way.
Nice. Thanks for the $5, Kenny. We appreciate you. Okay.
You think I'm kidding?
I don't think you're kidding. I don't think you're kidding.
When the Barbie, for those who don't know, when the Barbie movie came out, it made me really, really sad to see all these people talking about their Barbie nostalgia, because I never had any toys growing up, and especially never any Barbies. And I didn't even have any like old sister Barbies that I could play with. And so my husband bought me a Barbie and a big Barbie dream closet full of Barbie clothes. And I still buy Barbie clothes on Etsy to this day to dress them up in season. Like I got my spring Barbies over there right now. So
I never was into Barbies.
Me neither, because I wasn't allowed to. I never was exposed to them, so I didn't know what would be fun about them. Turns out they are really fun to dress up.
I don't understand the Barbie thing, but okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
True.
All I understand was that it was an experience I wasn't allowed to decide whether or not I enjoyed as a child. So then getting it as an adult was very moving for me.
I think I understand what you're saying. I had a similar experience with the Cabbage Patch thing.
Mm-hmm.
So all my friends had Cabbage Patch Kids, but my mother was too cheap, so she bought me a Flower Patch doll, which was
like the dollar store Cabbage Patch doll,
the dollar discount Cabbage Patch. Yes. So I had a Flower Patch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Okay.
So this is just basically the crux of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
There's nothing really, this is just basically what they lay out at the beginning, that they're liable for the negligent hiring, training, and supervision. They were propelled by the house's false statements.
I think that we need to go over this page kind of in depth a little bit.
In depth? Oh, well, I've been doing this so long.
I know. I'm going to read these out really quick.
I'm hungry.
I know, me too. Okay, so these were Proctor, Buchanan, Brian telling the House defendants that are specifically incorporated herein, MSP and CPD's employees' wrongful acts include, but are not limited to. They were propelled by the House defendants' false statements, including that John never went in the house.
But Carrie says he didn't. Mama Llama says he didn't. So why would they put that there?
She is not a good source, Rebecca.
Apparently she is.
No, lies. They failed to investigate any theory other than seeking to singularly focus on Miss Reed to the exclusion of all other available evidence. They ignored that John's injuries were consistent with a physical altercation and dog attack, and that no injuries were consistent with a vehicle strike. They intentionally sidestepped or wholly ignored fundamental investigatory procedures. They disregarded and failed to obtain pertinent interviews and other critical evidence from the House defendants that cannot now be recovered or recreated. Through Proctor, they secretly communicated with the Alberts on Proctor's personal phone, deliberately back-channeling those communications to circumvent his state-issued device, and used Proctor's sister as a surrogate. They manufactured evidence to ensure that Miss Reed, not their friends and fellow law enforcement officers, were blamed for Mr. O'Keefe's death, including planting evidence at the scene on Mr. O'Keefe's clothes and on Miss Reed's vehicle to support the false narrative that Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle, even though they knew Mr. O'Keefe's injuries were inconsistent with a motor vehicle strike and consistent with a physical altercation and dog attack.
I disagree with all of this, Mel, because Kevin Lenahan told me.
Oh my Christ.
Kevin Lenahan, Yellow Cottage Tales, told me.
Don't listen to her, chat.
That those are that all of the forensic evidence is so clear that Karen Reed in a drunken rage hit John O'Keefe with her car. Those arm things are not dog bites, and no expert no expert would ever say so. Not even the experts that were precluded from speaking at the trial. Anyway, no. Obviously, we know this is all true. Obviously.
Yep. Anyway,
but Mama Llama and Kevin Lenahan said
encouraged flagrant abuses of power, armed with the fruits of this fundamentally flawed and biased investigation. The Norfolk County DA's office proceeded to prosecute Ms. Reed for murder, resulting in 2 juries rejecting the Commonwealth's charges and Ms. Reed losing her career, home, car, livelihood, and reputation. And here is where Greg Connor comes in to the chat. Greg Connor enters the chat as a 25-year veteran prosecutor in that office who is now seeking a role of district attorney, recently said of the Commonwealth's murder charge, quote, "The reach exceeded the grasp," end quote, and quote, I don't think there was another DA's office in Massachusetts that wanted to prosecute Karen Reed, end quote.
I love how you say Karen now all the time.
Karen.
You always say Karen Reed like Higgins says Karen.
Karen. We don't have to go through the depth of these counts, but we can just go through the counts really quickly. Count 1 is negligence against Massachusetts State Police.
Yes, hold on one second.
2.
Do you want to see what Greg Connor had to say?
Yes.
You got to see this.
Come on, Greg.
God,
Greg. Oh, it's Greg again. Yeah, Greg did this, I'm sure.
Greg.
Here we go. It's Greg.
Let's put him up there. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear it?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Why can't you hear my videos?
I don't know. Why don't you send me the link?
I will. I'm sending it to you right now. I can't send it by text because I don't have an app. I don't have a MacBook yet.
Okay. I'm
gonna email it to you, Mel. Okay. Because I don't have a MacBook yet. Okay. Maybe if we ever have a really good month on this channel, I will use that to buy myself a MacBook.
Or maybe someone will buy you a MacBook.
Or someone buy me some Apple gift cards that I can then put toward buying a MacBook.
Yeah, don't buy a MacBook off of Amazon, Rebecca.
I'm just being aspirational. Okay, so I just sent it to you, your Mel Barrett, and you're going to want to open the first video. I don't know why my audio doesn't play when I share a video from Twitter. That's weird. It's never not happened before.
It's okay, Rebecca. It's okay that you can't get it up.
I can't. Well, Mama Llama says that I'm not a reliable or honest person. So maybe that's Jesus punishing me for that.
Can you hear this? Hold on. It's not on the screen yet.
Yeah, you got to put it on the screen first.
Okay. Tell me if you can hear this.
First, when we look at the Reed case, I agree it was overcharged. And it was frustrating. When you overcharge a case, it becomes a cancer to the case and it spreads throughout.
Fuck off, Greg. Are you fucking serious, dude?
It's too bad you didn't know somebody who worked there.
This case carries a malignancy.
God.
It's really too bad you didn't know somebody who worked there.
It's a little late, Greg.
Weigh in.
This case carries a malignancy.
Guys, it is on my Amazon.
Spread through the investigation.
What?
It is on my Amazon list. I just want Mackenzie Bezos, who might be a fan of this show, to fulfill that wish. Or at least send some Apple gift cards, which are also on my Amazon list. All right. I apologize to those who think it's horrific that we talk about the Amazon list. It's actually a joke, and we love it when people actually do it, but we have no expectation of anybody sending us anything. Okay.
This case carries a malignancy. One that is spread through the investigation. It's spread through the prosecution from the very start, from the jump. A cancer that cannot be cut out, a cancer that cannot be cured. And that cancer has a name. His name is Michael Proctor.
Ooh, damn. It's like Greg Connor can't even be original when he's placating a voting audience. He's got to steal from Alan Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Count 2. You want to pull this back up?
Yes. Sorry, I'm responding to a Twitter troll on Twitter because I can't help myself sometimes.
Great.
You're like, great use of your time, Lavoy. Great use of your time. What can I say?
Yep.
Big girl hungry.
We're almost there. We're gonna power through. Okay. All right. So count 2 is negligence against the town of Canton through Canton Police Department. I would encourage you all to read this for yourself so you can make up your own mind about what we are talking about.
That's our condensed version of Rebecca needs to eat.
Count 3 is civil conspiracy. There were a couple of things that I found that were important here.
Where? Page?
On page 29.
Ooh. I get to skip to. There we go. Yeah.
That's 26.
Sorry. I'm reading back.
29 is count 3. And count 3
Don't make fun of my disability.
I did not say anything.
I don't actually have dyslexia or dyscalculia, but.
Count 3, civil conspiracy against both defendants. Number 88, at all relevant times, MSP and CPD as police departments and agencies imbued with legal authority had a particular and established power of coercion over Reed, particularly where working together in connection with the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe III. Ms. Reed presented her claim in writing to MSP and CPD pursuant to MGL. Blah, blah, blah. On November 21st, 2025, MSP explicitly denied Ms. Reed's claim on April 14th, 2026.
This part's good.
And then CPD did not respond to Ms. Reed's presentment within 6 months of that date. And as a result, CPD is deemed to have finally denied her claim.
Meaning that if they don't respond, it's a deny. Where do you think Sean Goode learned that he could just not respond to things and just not show up? What culture do you think taught that to him?
The Canton Police Department, in my estimation. Yes.
Listen, Mama Llama says the Canton Police Department has a lot of integrity.
I'm going to cancel you if you keep quoting what Mama Llama says.
How about Julie Carpenter?
No. None of the forensics. No.
Jennifer Coffindaffer?
None of the 5 forensics.
Tuesday till Tuesday, whatever her name is.
Oh my God. Did you read Coffindaffer?
Yes.
Doffer, whatever her fucking name is. Yeah. Oh my God. It's ludicrous at this point. Coffin fucker. Yeah.
Sloffendaffer.
The struggle is teal. Nobody cares who Mama Llama is. We're not talking about Mama Llama on the show anymore, but she is one of the 5 forensics.
Well, she showed up a lot with the O'Keefes in trial too. She's been anti-Karen. She's an anti-Karen Reed OG.
She is a good friend of one Miss Jennifer McCabe, and she sat in the O'Keefe box.
Yes, she's
glaring
an OG
at Karen
AKR propaganda machine.
So that's pretty much it. After that, they're asking for jury demand.
The court decides to give
relief. Yep. And there are like 20-30 pages of exhibits, which includes her previous filings. So I would encourage you all to read it. It's very interesting. It's really sad. And I think that we're just touching the tip of the iceberg here as to how horrible these communications actually are.
We are.
So
I can't wait to find out what other cops are in there, which we may never.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We may never. It is the responsibility of the Massachusetts State Police, any municipal law enforcement agency across the state of Massachusetts, to ask their lawyers to request a copy of these files so that they can see for themselves whether or not any of the other officers in their employ are on these text chains, because I would die on the hill of asserting that there is absolutely more law enforcement presence on these chains. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Of course there is. Who else are they talking to? I mean, people who have the same opinions as them. It's insane. Hold on. I just wanted to, that's my own voice. So we are, let's see.
There's 1,500 of you here. Can you please like this video? And can you please share it if you like how we talk?
So here's the thing. There are 1,500 people watching and there are only 700 likes on the video. That seems crazy to me.
Half of you are losers. Freeloaders. Half of you are not doing your duty.
Oh my God. You are getting hangry. It is time to feed
I
Becky.
love almost everybody here, especially the trolls that are here, just so they can report later on what we talked about. I love you most of all because you are spending part of your day with me in my home.
Yeah.
And you could be doing literally anything else, and you are choosing to do this. So if you are an anti-Karen Reed person, or if you're an anti-Turtle Boy person, or if you have BFFs with somebody else that we have negative opinions about, and you are here watching us, thank you for your service.
Look, we got a dumb comment.
True. Russian bots don't hit like.
Yeah, the Russian bots who are
watching. It's not a dumb comment. It's a they're saying that we have Russian bots. Or are they saying that we have Russian bots? Or are they saying that the anti-Karen Reed people deploy Russian bots?
No, because we're asking people to like our video. This is how I understand it. That we're asking people to like our video, and I'm saying there are 1,500 people watching, and they're saying that those are not real people watching us. Yeah.
Trolls are fans too. Trolls are the biggest fans. Trolls are, in fact, I know that because like Kate Peter, who I don't even follow, is always retweeting my tweets. So she looks for what I have to say and spends time reading it, commenting on it on a rebroadcast. Like, girl.
I kind of like this Saturday morning thing. Maybe, I mean, I know that we don't want to. I mean, if we could do it at like 9 o'clock in the morning, like we did this morning, and be done by like 11, that still gives us our whole Saturday to like be with family and do everything we need to do. But I kind of like this Saturday, so maybe we'll make it a thing. We don't know.
Maybe. At least I'm not doing it the day of my son's wedding, though. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Not doing it when I'm on vacation. I'm not doing it during my son's wedding.
I should have Maggie on. We should have Maggie on to discuss this because she's texting us about Maggie
in real time. Yeah,
about these texts because we just sent her the filing and she is losing her mind.
We're name dropping our Pulitzer Prize winning journalist friend Maggie Freeling.
We also have another Pulitzer Prize winning friend named Amber Hunt. So
I have another Pulitzer Prize winning friend named Marcia Chatelain. Did you know? Did you see? By the way, Sue O'Connell said that I gave her unsolicited advice on the internet.
I saw that.
Can you believe it? Can you believe Sue would chastise somebody for giving unsolicited advice?
It's so funny to me because that's what I said to her, that she was giving people unsolicited advice. She does it all the time.
She's the unsolicited journalism college of Twitter.
She does not see the irony.
I literally just said, like, she's posting links to her Instagram videos on Twitter. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. That's for that platform. She's like, it's just unsafe. Thanks for the unsolicited advice. But if you work for, I was like, I do work for a mainstream media outlet. And like, you're just doing too much work, girl. Way too much work.
You know what? I just realized I have to go back to one little housekeeping thing before we jump off here, because I started talking about our schedule and we never really got through it.
Because we can post it. We don't have to talk about it. People don't like it when we talk about our schedules. I've gotten a lot of that feedback.
Listen, I don't care right now because we have a very important stream that we're doing on Wednesday. Actually, I'm doing it by myself.
Okay.
And it's because we're covering more of the Edric Foss trial. I'm going to have two guests on with me, two guests who are like boots on the ground in Athens, Georgia. And that is Jessica Berryman and Charles Hardy are going to be coming on Wednesday. Ooh. Because Edric Foss has an appeals hearing coming up next Friday. So this coming Wednesday at probably around 10 a.m. I haven't put it out yet, but at this coming Wednesday at 10 a.m., I'm going to have Jess Berryman and Charles Hardy on. Jess is interesting because the crazy judge in that case called her out in court. She's a community member. She used to work for the Department of Corrections, and I want to get to the bottom of the hot goss. But Judge Lott called Jess Berryman out by name in court. And apparently Charles Hardy has clashed a little bit with the locals there too. Apparently they're also getting a ton of information from people who were involved at the time of the original investigation of Edric Foss, or not Edric Foss, but of Tara's murder that happened 25 years ago. They're getting a bunch of information coming in that they are handing over to Edric's lawyers. And so there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on. And so I'm going to meet with them on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the upcoming appeals hearing. So I did want to mention that as a schedule bullet point, but I will.
By the way, I was kind of joking about the not saying the schedule thing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound rude. I know a lot of people do like it, and I apologize because I actually was joking about a complaint we got.
That's fine.
That I was trying to be sarcastic about.
It's fine, Rebecca.
People know there's a 10-second fast forward button on the thing.
People know they can listen in like double time. People know they can fast forward. People know they can look at our chapters that Amanda puts out and just click on the thing they want to listen to when they're on replay. Yeah. Anyway, that's the only other thing that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we'll be back on Thursday to do our regular stream.
We'll be back on Monday morning. We're going to be talking about Aaron Spencer's charges being dropped. We're going to be talking about Emily C's interview with Adam Deitch. We're going to be talking about stuff in the filings that we didn't get a chance to talk about here.
Yep.
And so we'll be back Monday, and then Monday night we're doing our Rebecca Gets Drunk while Mel Makes Her Watch Something stream for members only. So become a member so you can join us for that stream. It's really fun for Mel and other people, and really uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, Rebecca gets loose lips sometimes. She starts.
If you like my rant today about Mama Llama and her assertions on Twitter, that's all it is for like an hour and a half when Mel makes me watch it. It's all it is.
Yeah, Rebecca 2x speed is pretty hilarious. Amy says, Rebecca, I love your sarcastic and facetious tone. Same. Rebecca, sarcasm rubs me wrong and wastes time in serious conversations. I roll. I roll. Sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that, Maya. This might not be the right place for you.
Sorry, Maya. I'm never going to not be sarcastic.
Ever. I know this whole thing where we built our brand.
It's like my whole personality. It's how I deal with pain and loss. Yeah. It's my whole personality.
Okay. This Saturday stream was really fun. I appreciate you all being here. There were like 1,700 of you at one point here. I'm so glad you were here. I love spending my Saturday morning with you, and maybe we'll start making this a regular thing. Who knows? Please take care of yourselves. Only go and read the filing and only go and listen to this kind of stuff if you can, if your brain can take it and your heart can take it. I appreciate you. The one thing I want to ask is if you see things like this happening in your real life where there are folks speaking this way, that we just read these tweets and these messages and transcripts of audio. If you hear and see people, especially people in power, talking this way, I know it's hard, but please call them out or at least tell somebody about it. So
agreed. It's okay to say I'm not okay with what you just said, and that's what you just leave it there.
I can route you to Mazzo's live. If everybody will hold on a second, I will do that now.
That's so nice of us.
Yeah.
Make sure to tell Mazza that you came from here so that people in that chat will know we exist, and then maybe also check out our channel. So
yes,
please be sure to market us wherever you go.
It's going to take me just a minute because I got to sign into the account and do all that stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Mel, you're going to have a good rest of the weekend? You're going to stay cool and not pass out in the tennis court?
So I'm not playing tennis this weekend. It's incredibly hot right now. I'm in the pod and I only have the fans, here. So it's getting a little bit hot. I'm kind of glad we're wrapping this up because hold on a sec. Let me change my.
What do we call our Mazarade? Call it a bean bonanza.
Wait,
a bean raid.
I want to redirect. That's what I want to do. All right, Mazza. That's not Mazza.
Add a YouTube emoji or sticker for this group, then we can raid. Hit the like button before the Mazza raid. You guys are so great.
Mazza Media, got it. Okay, all set. You guys are all set. Have fun over there. Tell them we sent you. Tell everybody to go like and subscribe and hype and do all the things. We love you, Rebecca. I love you. I appreciate you.
Love you so much.
I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday.
You will.
Two times.
You will.
Two times.
Bye.